welcome to SSL Week 6. I am a little fuzzy seal, joined as always by the inveritable Charity, aka Shane Schiffelbahn.
Shane Schiffelbahn. You heard it first, ladies and gentlemen.
Once we get our lower third set up, you guys will know why the name gives me so much trouble all the time. All right, well, now that we are here, this is going to be Week 6 of the SSL. If you guys are not aware with what this is going to be a competitive squad-based PUBG event. 4 rounds overall, teams duking it out for first and second place, obtaining a place in the finale, top 3 getting in the money. But the interesting note about this week, I actually don't have the teams on hand, but as a couple of examples, we do have, I think, 5 or 6 teams in this lobby that have already qualified for the finale. So people coming back trying to get some prize money. But what that does mean is that it's going to be easier for teams that haven't qualified already to get qualified today. And the interesting note about that, we have like Izako Boars today. We have Teletubbies, who's played 1 week, just wrecked it, and then we didn't see the next week. So I'm going to be hoping that they make some good waves today as well. But a lot of very, very strong teams where we might actually have a situation where it's like 5th or 6th place. It's going to be getting the finale slots.
Right? Could you imagine? Either way, I'm very, very excited for Week 8, and which is going to be the finals. And so we've got this week, next week, and then we're off to the finals where it's a $5,000 prize pool, and it's just going to be the same teams that we've been seeing compete over these past 6 weeks.
The best of the same teams.
The best of, yeah, exactly. The teams that have ended up taking first or second, and then you said there was 2 wild card slots where top damage and
top kills and top placement.
There we go.
Top number of points in a survival Sunday, like best of 4,
okay,
without qualifying for it. So we're gonna be based off those 2. And we're actually gonna be using in weeks 1 and 2, we didn't use the new updated score system. We will be applying the new score system to the weeks that didn't use it. So we'll be. I think those are updated right now on our score sheets. I'll make sure that they are if they're not. So just message me if they're not. But they will be. That is how it's going to work. So if there's any confusion based around that. But it's going to be pretty interesting though, because a lot of our strongest teams have already gotten in. And in fact, honestly, a lot of our strongest teams have been EU teams as well. So, and that's actually a trend that's followed this week. You know, a lot of our NA teams are sort of leaderboard grinders that we have slowly eased into being competitive players through the SSL and previous Survival Sundays as well. And the EU teams, they're already relatively well-established PUBG teams. I'm looking at Izako Boars. I think that Teletubbies were an X team, or like they used to be have an org. I don't think they do anymore, or maybe they dropped PUBG.
How they played.
Yeah, they played very strong. Like, there's a point in time where they were playing as a 2-man, and they were not acting like a 2-man. Like they were taking a lot of fights, taking a lot of shots, and winning most of them. I think that was they lost half their players in rotation in round 1, and I think they ended it with a 12-kill win. Yeah. Don't know how they did that.
I think week 1 they definitely played, the first week we saw them, they definitely played as if they had team chemistry already down, and they worked as a unit. And it's not to say that you could just throw 4 guys together that know how to play PUBG and are good at it and be successful. But team chemistry goes a really long way, and I think you're onto something with. If they were an X team, it'd make sense. That
being said, I think that it's a really, really important skill to have in PUBG, with sort of, especially in the NA scene, how many roster swaps occur, to be able to play with and adapt to multiple different kinds of teams. On top of that, though, I actually like it a lot whenever, if a team has problems, if it's something that they can fix, they stick with it. Yeah, well, I think that one of the worst things that you can do is just switch around players and be like, all right, we lost a game. This guy didn't get many kills, so just chuck him. Unless there's like a mindset problem, or you think there's like a significant mechanical deficit, I almost always think it's better to just sort of stick with that player, unless they're causing emotional or point-based distress that you don't think can be fixed in the long term. And obviously, that's why everyone ends up dropping their players at some point, because we're not going to win with you. We need to find someone who we will win with. But I do think that dedication and working with the same group over time can sort of establish a rapport and teamwork that can take some time to build up.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's almost like working out. You break down the muscles, and that would be the games that might not go as well, but you could use it as a learning experience, and you work towards just becoming a better team overall. And so the teams that end up doing roster shuffles, which it's common, but I think the teams that end up doing that, it kind of brings them back to the drawing board, and they're like, okay, well, now we have to figure out how to play with this fourth, and that fourth has to figure out how to play with us. And it's a week or two into just focusing on that, and then you can start to get into some of the other plays that need to be improved. But I agree with you. I think if you're able to stick with one set roster, the more you work through, the stronger you're going to come out at the other end. And so, I'd agree.
How have your roster swaps in the past changed your team's play style?
I mean, our most recent one, we ended up parting ways with Jay all day. Phenomenal player, great sniper. It just wasn't working out the way we needed it to, and a little bit of personality issues with gliding. Lots of strong personalities on the team, so it's bound to happen. But then we recently picked up Spray, and Spray was a person that we've all competed with on previous teams. All three of us have been on an old team with him.
That's funny.
And they were all three different teams, and so it's kind of interesting. But the team chemistry was already there, and Spray's an amazing guy. Whenever we went out to Seattle, we hung out with him, got to meet him in person. So the team chemistry was already there, and so that kind of just worked out in our favor. But then on top of that, he's just a phenomenal player.
All right, real quick, I actually have a question about this because I've been seeing some people when they play Apex play with a lot of other pros. Whenever you play casually, are you almost always trying to network and find new faces and new people to play with just to establish a network of pros that you can call upon?
I wouldn't necessarily. I guess in a sense, I wouldn't
that
necessarily look at it. I wouldn't look at it like networking. I'm like, oh well, this person has this many followers, and it's gonna do this for me. But I do tend to play with other professional players. It's just that drive, the competitive side of them, and then the skill level as well. And it usually vibes really well with me, who I don't like to lose. So I need to be playing with better players. And
I got a 7-game win streak the other day.
There we go.
In the new Battle Royale game.
Yeah, that's fun to me. But either way, I don't necessarily look at it like it's networking, although that is somewhat what it is, because if you're playing with some of the top-tier players, I mean, look at C9, Lobes. He got picked up. He's a phenomenal player.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very phenomenal. But I'm guessing it's part of his networking skills that ended up getting him that spot.
He went from 0 to 100 right there for a very, very long time. Lobes was competing in a lot of T2 teams. And honestly, whenever I saw him, it's just
three pros and Lobes. Three pros and
Lobes. This guy is nuts.
Yeah. But I overlooked him a lot as far as I just never pictured him on being on C9, but his networking skills, and then on top of that, just his in-game skills. I think it's a lot more towards his in-game skills. I don't want to take anything away from the player.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I do think that if you can make that one friend or that one past teammate that ends up getting your foot in the door with the right person, it's a lot of it's about who you know. I will say that.
Yeah, and that is honestly it's really, very stressful to me over time, especially when you're looking at a BR game.
Yeah,
and it's there's probably hundreds of people in this scene that you could spend time with, that you could know, and it's how do you know? That's not the right way to word it, because I was gonna say, how do you know who to spend time with, and that just sounds like a psychopath almost.
Measuring out his friends. What can you do for me?
Oh no, oh man, but it just sounds. It's almost like the battle royale of life, man.
Yeah.
Who's gonna make you the happiest? either by the strength and that bond of that friendship, or by the prize money that you'll make along the way.
Give me wins. I do not like to lose.
It's not about the friends you have at the end. It's about the prize money you made along the way. Dan's looking at me.
But with all
I don't believe
said,
this, by the way. I don't believe this, by the way.
With all that being said, the Survival Sunday League, one thing that I absolutely love about it is that it gives a lot of people that might not have that opportunity to network with some of the bigger names in the scene a chance to showcase their skills. And they come out here and they might not have played in competitive at all, and this might be their first experience, or they might be a seasoned veteran. And so it gives those the chances to the players that haven't had those chances, and to compete against the top dogs and really showcase their skill.
I mean, dude, there was a team, I think it was in week 2, the Guardsmen, maybe even week 1, They come from, I think it was Plausible Gaming, a network that we work with sometimes, and that's like the new PUBG EXP. That's a leaderboard grinding group, and they got second place, and they looked pretty dang strong.
Yep.
This was before the new NPL system, which I think that at this point we can pretty much say kind of reduces a little bit of that RNG, puts a lot more of the game in your hands, I think. So I'll actually be looking, because they're playing today, I'll actually be looking at them to be seeing how they react to this.
Which team is this?
This is the Guardsmen.
The Guardsmen.
Yeah, they're the only team that don't have their own logo. Actually, they're using the FirstBlood logo here.
Who needs a logo?
Yeah, not them, man. Although I'm glad they ran their own logo, so we don't have like 3 or 4 FirstBlood logos floating around for confusion's sake. Looking over here though, the flight plan that we have, very, very nice. I feel like this is a sort of,
I love it.
It's a characteristic, I feel, of SSL. We have a lot of nice flight plans here. I'll just put that like as an advertisement. Our flight plans are the best. Don't worry about those candy canes.
Hardly ever a hard south one or a hard north one.
This is
do
bad.
Have an early contestant into military
This
base.
is going to be an early slaughter. Like, they dropped 2 kilometers later on the flight plan while our boys in purple dropped right away. This is really, really bad for, I believe, that is Deranged EU, the team in red that is showing up late. That being said, it looks like that despite showing up late, they will make it to the barracks, but it will be Lyran who will be contesting this other one. And despite dropping early, they are showing up around the same time with a much wider split from Simply Simple, the team in purple. So Deranged EU, despite showing up late, might actually have a decent shot at this.
Yeah, landing as a 4-man whenever you're contested is so important, or rather just like close, because purple, they have 2 members that can't even assist in this.
Well, they didn't even know they were contested when they dropped this.
Yeah, true. You would imagine that another team would have come back. It looks like Deranged is actually just going to back off. They're grabbing all the vehicles they can. They got 2 different 2-seaters. Miss Hairspray is running towards a buggy, so they snagged all the vehicles that they could, and they're going to go and loot the outskirts. And that's viable because the new loot settings, you get, it's like 5.4 times DMRs, 5.4 times snipers.
Oh,
wow.
Lord, this is going to be hot. Yeah, there's... the difference between military base and Georgia, besides a loot location on the map, there are almost no car spawns here.
Yeah.
So it is going to be really hard for teams that are here inside Georgia to disengage from this. And even besides that, look at this rainbow. There's people in almost every single one of these quadrants here. Zako Bohr is incredibly split. They have 1 member of Orion between them. Far west side claimed by another team. In fact, I'm wondering, what the heck is Orion trying to do here? They have 1 player inside South George, and the rest of them are inside North George, and the rest of them either went to the outskirts or to South George. I wonder if this was him not getting the memo, if this was him trying to contest something, or if they just thought they could get away with getting the entirety of Georgia Pool on their own. Either way, it is going to result in Feller probably resorting to sneaking his way out of here. He might be able to do so with the Zako Blores being relatively spread out, and with him having a teammate, Skazka, off to his east, potentially providing an escape route for him, scouting out for him as well to get out of there. But it's going to be hard. He needs to get out of here soon.
Yeah, I mean, he's stuck between a rock and a hard place, essentially. He's Morpheus and Bruxel off to his east.
But that's a really strong duo.
Yeah,
they play
strong duo.
They play a lot of games together, these 2 players. Zako Boris as well, potentially one of our strongest teams mechanically in the lobby. And I'm looking at this sector. If we see Peller retreat to the east, then it's going to be almost impossible for him to get out of the audio range of his footsteps outside of the Boars. So he's gonna need to pull some rabbit out of his hat to get out of this one. Good luck to you, buddy.
I'm gonna guess it's either he hangs out where he's at, goes for a kill because it's a point, and that's each kill is worth a lot, or he can run off to the south and maybe grab a boat and just jettison straight down to crates and loot up there. Either way, I agree he's gonna have a hard time getting out. This circle, though, pretty favorable. A large majority of the teams already at a dominant position. We see School and Apps being pretty much central. We do have AMS going straight towards Deadman's Town, stopping outside of the garage warehouse. TTV Maddox getting some good shots in, connecting half of them, bringing him down to half HP. Matt attacks, that is.
He wasn't able to find too much loot here. He only has 40 shots left with his Scar. Got something on his back, making him not want to pick up the Uzi. But I wonder how AMC, who's actually, his old name is Amic, he will be getting back in the car. Madtax was not in position, he was looting. Might have been able to punish that a little bit better, but it will be AMZ who is going to be getting back in his car, retreating to the north, and using the Defilade as cover. And even if he doesn't get this compound, even if Panateam has to retreat and fall back to the north here, they can play these ridges. It feels a little early to do that. earlier in the game, that's easier to punish because there's a lot more high ground that can punish those spots. So he will be, as we can see, just be going back to the school and getting back into his teammates. But the reason why he left, the reason why he doesn't want to do that is because for players in school, even with the amped up loot, that's not tenable. You need to get out of there. You need to find more stuff because otherwise you're working with scraps.
Yeah, is there 4th in there as well? I think I only see 3. Either way, like I wouldn't put any more than 2. And so, like you said, you're going to be working with scraps. Not entirely sure where they're.
We have a lot of red.
At. Yeah, lots of red. We do see an early contention for a crate. Snip Zeko.
Where's that at?
Yeah, off to the east there. Snip Zeko got in there really quick. No, he got the crate as well.
No. If the white lines are still on the crate, it is unlooted, I believe. So I think that this is going to be pretty easy for Dykester to go grab. I'm wondering what's in there, though, because if it's a 249, then we're probably going to be seeing T-Bone not take it so I can make fun of him. No, it wasn't actually. Okay, so I don't exactly... Okay, he is driving the ground.
I don't.
What am I watching?
Dude, he's looking around. He's like, what?
I think that he's actually driving. It's just a bug on our end. When he gets,
I'm speechless.
When he gets out of the car, he's probably going to teleport about 1,000 meters.
I wonder if maybe his vehicle was glitched into the buggy, and so like it left the character rendered. Either way,
he's probably not there. If he gets shot there, then that's going to be a pretty frustrating thing to occur. Though.
Oh, there he is. You were right.
Yep.
He teleports right back into...
Did his buggy teleport? Is that going to be a problem?
I don't see his vehicle.
Oh, God. All right, so we'll be seeing Wizards drive around with an invisible vehicle here going into the future. But interesting thing to have spotted right there on the observer cam. The north, we will be seeing our Yasnaya team leave Yasnaya incredibly early in contesting this.
They're pulling up to Wizards compound. There's a hill directly to the north of Wizards compound that they can pull up on, and they have free range on scouting it out. It looks like they are getting inside the vehicles and taking off. They heard the U.S. pull up.
They heard the U.S. pull up, they heard the other U.S. pull up, they heard the buggy pull up, so they're like, all right, we're in a 2v4 right now, and we are in a system right now where these guys want this fight. They will absolutely take a 4v2.
Yep.
So backing off from that is a great decision from the Wizards. And to talk about he's not actually there.
No, and so it's good to know that players in-game aren't seeing him there either.
That's
so
good.
they see T-Bone drive off. It's just a spectator bug, fortunately.
But real quick, talking about the Wizards a little bit more, they're a team that I have high expectations for. I think that they can become really, really good, but they just need to work on their macro. They need to work out some kinks in their strategy. O'Connell, one of their players that used to be on Moonwolf, is on this team. And so I do think that they have what it takes. I know that they play in a lot of EU competitions as well. And looking at where they're at right now, they did just claim center zone. It is a very, very hot center zone. We have a team in apartments, school, as well as every single other surrounding compound besides one. But the fact they got this early in this kind of game where how many people dropped in this area is a pretty good thing to have for them.
Yeah, I completely agree. I love the compound itself. It's just a dominant compound to be able to catch out some rotations. You have decent sight lines, and then you can keep your vehicles relatively safe as well. So overall, I like the choice on going there.
We do have the fourth member of Panda Team, NSG King, or even the third, or whatever you want to call that, who is driving a vehicle around somewhere. I think that you were right when you were saying there's only 3 here. Their fourth is north of Rozok right now. So this makes me feel a little bit better about the loot situation of Panda Team. But I don't know how NSG is going to safely get to his team. It's literally going to be only his survival instinct to get back because they can't scout for him. They only know really what's to their east. They have no idea what's going on in Rozok, Watertown, all these places he's going to have to pass to link up with them. And he probably will want to. School is in a pretty good spot in the zone right now. Might want to wait until Zone 2 to figure out if it's going to be really worth it to go for it. But we'll be seeing if he ends up linking up with them. Because Panda Team, they're definitely going to have 4 if they have to hold this entire school going into the mid game.
Yeah.
Oh, what's going on here? Big fight breaking out here between Orion Prime and Azako. They did accidentally suicide themselves, and it will be one of the players, Feller, who is hiding inside trying to get out from this. But it looks like the backup that came ended up getting absolutely demolished on top of this hill. I believe that Venus was the player that dropped to the east outside that compound. Here we see the southwest, and despite Azako Boars accidentally suicided one of their own, they will be able to win that 4v1 fight. So good for them to be able to not lose any players, not getting other players flushed from that. And at the very least, Orion Prime's Feller will be able to back off from that.
And we have a northeastern shift. This is going to favor like the open field is taking up so much of the territories, and there's no one that's going to be really wanting to play Yaz at this moment. And so these compounds, especially the ones that like Wizards took, the compound to the northeast, and then the guys sitting here on top of Volcano Hill, they're in a really good position here.
Yeah, they're going to be pretty happy about that. Team almost happy as well, but mostly it's going to be Barlos to the north, who I believe this is a member of Seek Org, who actually, they're going to be crashing the same combat at the same time. We see Mime and co. trying to go for a new split, a new crash, but they will be arriving right now, and they don't actually know that Seek Org is in here, whereas Barlos and most of Seek Org, he's calling this out. I'm wondering how they're going to take this fight. Okay, it will be Seek Org, actually, who's going to be backing off, not willing to take a 1v4, or maybe even a 4v4, and even getting their vehicles. Now that they're driving around with Sunzi and Thorax, team almost knows that they're here. So a push from the north is now out of the question.
Barlos just ditched his buggy and it's like, not even worth it.
They can have it.
Yep.
Ooh, rip.
We do see Longest Lime catching out Dutch and Mike Beast in their rotation.
Oh my goodness, he killed himself with this vehicle again. That's happened to like 3 or 4 players this game.
No.
Is there something going on with the cars actually between the invisible buggy and a lot of suicides? I hope everything's okay.
Yeah, I've never seen the invisible buggy glitch. That is a first.
What about the Play-Doh glitch?
The Play-Doh glitch, yeah, quite common.
That's not really a glitch actually.
Yeah. Just having to render in so much, switching through so many different cameras. Off Kid trying to catch out, it looks like that's Teletubbies in their rotation.
Something to note, Teletubbies is probably one of our strongest teams mechanically in this lobby. I know I said this about Izako Bowlers, but Teletubbies, they've played 1 week, they came, they destroyed, and then we didn't see them again until now. So we'll be seeing how they do, but the games with Teletubbies in it did not look close.
Yeah, I mean, Kleinman especially, dude tore it up, I think in just 1 game. I think he had
There was a 2-man in round 1 in the Teletubbies, and they played it like a 4-man, ended up with a ton of kills by the end game. They did get compound, they did get fed almost that entire time, but they're feeling pretty good about this. Wizards now will be scouting out and spotting Bonzo team, who will be taking Team Almost's old compound off to their southwest, and this is a pretty good spot for them to take. I personally like it. It lets you have relatively easy access to Volcano Hill if no one takes. You can get a decent rotate on foot, but mostly it's just because it's a compound that's in the zone. There aren't many of those up right now.
Yeah. They need to get that Dacia smoked and then pulled into the compound. This is another compound where you can easily keep your vehicle safe. They have the garage house directly to the east. Wizards, I mean, they're somewhat looking. That's why I said you just have to drop a smoke. You throw 1 smoke out there on your Dacia, and you trade a smoke for a vehicle. It's well worth. Especially I saw that they had a 2-seater sitting there. Oh no, another member from Orion. Yeah, trying to rotate in. Yeah, driving across the bridge this late is very risky. You have to assume that bridge is being camped, and especially in the new point system where kills are so important, they're going to want to catch out rotations, and bridge camping is one of the easiest ways to do that.
That's a really good point, and we're actually seeing another team, the Izako Bowlers, go across north instead, avoiding this bridge with Ghostar, getting greedy, getting himself a crate. We'll be rewarded for this, as they are now the only ones on this northwestern island. Even doing a little bit of scouting while he's here. Might have seen something to his north, but mostly he's here, I think, to get this crate. What's going to be inside of it, though? Is it going to be the M249? It's going to be a Groza. Also, this new care package UI, I didn't notice that until now. It's slightly different. Slightly bigger, font's different. Just a cool thing to know. And looking at this, look at that. Team Almost getting the shift directly on top of their compound. This is, however, a place where if I had to crash anywhere, I would be pretty okay with crashing this. There's a lot of walls, and it's pretty spread out.
Yeah, and the only problem with crashing it is, I mean, look at the teams that are surrounding it. You're going to have to essentially drive through all of those teams. Unless you come in from the east side, there's a little ridge on the east side that you can essentially play, but you're having to drive through, an open field. Not necessarily ideal, but like you said, it's a larger compound, and so it may be if the team from the north, I'm not entirely sure, Seek Org, if they came pushed on foot, all they have to deal with is Tanaka, and if they get a knock, it could be an easy push.
It's an occupied compound. Maddie doing the scouting, who killed himself with a vehicle. That's number 5, I think, this game. And McLeodon able to secure that kill for his team. I actually have no idea where his team even is. I don't recognize that little pink color anywhere else around the map.
I think
that's not them coming in from the south. That's deranged, I think.
Driving straight into Teletubbies.
Oh,
Miss Hairspray getting out of the vehicle. They didn't spot out Snip, who's laying prone, just laying wait.
Oh, you can't let him get away with that. Hairspray trying to hang in there. Gets one. Immediately goes to the reload. but the frags coming in as well as a flank from the right side by the Teletubbies might make this over, and even a couple of shots from Evis taking down Debelung coming in from the rear for backup. So deranged EU willing to take this 3v4, this fight in the south side of the zone, might get punished for it, but another knock from Hairspray. She's putting in some good work, and even Mimic going for the res. This is so greedy, and now a 1v1 is Hairspray gonna do it, take out one of our best teams in the lobby. Kleiman coming in from the right, Hairspray just abusing the prone here. She sees him. Oh my god,
she does it!
Some Hairspray takes down the entire team. Teletubbies on her own.
And is able to save Debelung. Seamaker unfortunately went down, but Miss Hairspray just picked up a squad wipe to herself. I don't think that any of the other members were even damaged. That was literally a solo play. Chocolate Thunder does hear this action go down, and they've already got 2 kills.
Oh no, get out of there!
In on this.
Get it deranged, you gotta get out of there. Oh, they're gonna go for loot too. After
100%.
that, you're gonna be nice and chilled out, like, oh my god, I won this. I deserve this, right? I can just sit here and loot. No, Chocolate Thunder's gonna be coming in from their west side, and they're this. Oh wait, no, they're leaving. Hairspray is getting out of there. The bike actually
longest line, pulls the trigger.
Oh,
the knock does come out onto Debelung. Unfortunately, Miss Hairspray does have the 2-seater though, so she's going to be able to take off and maybe take over a shack or some position that she could play solo and survive another day. And they've already picked up 4 kills, which is the equivalent of a 4th place finish points-wise.
Man, I'm just interested in this story at this point. Hairspray surviving all of that, but oh no, Godlike Gamer actually not taking shots yet. But Hairspray will dismount in a very, very odd spot here on the far east side, outside the zone. Pig Guts did spot that out. Doesn't know exactly where Hairspray is, though. I'm wondering how this is going to react, because Godlike Gamer did send him out on his own. A couple of frags coming out. I think that Hairspray might be walking
right into okay,
oh, no! Okay, so she knows she's been spotted. She's going to be laying low here on the opposite side of this ridge. This is a pretty awkward push, but talking about pushes, we do have Equilibrium pushing right into Panda Team, or rather rotating past this compound. J-Fi getting punished immediately, as it looks like he might have either intentionally or accidentally popped into that hay bale. Rest of Equilibrium trying to go around this. They will be able to do so. Claiming the Wizard Tower. They lost a player, but not a bad rotate from here.
Yeah, I mean, talk about just great timing. Forax literally just left Wizard Tower. And granted, he was a solo player, and so if they had 3-man crash that, they'd likely had won it, but they might have lost someone. And it looks like he drove straight towards Michelin.
Can we
then he's going
Michelin?
straight back. He's going to go straight back to the sniper tower because he thinks it's clear.
This is not good for Seek Org. Sending it, does he see vehicles? He does see someone in the window veering off to the left immediately. Forax trying to back up. He's now driving into another team.
This is his team.
There's a lot of reds, I apologize. He will be able to get on inside of this compound, however, even keeping his bike nice and safe. Should be able to keep it inside any of these houses to maintain its durability, get those wheels nice and safe. The next zone as well has popped. I don't know what's going on with Michelin. He's been like alone in this compound the entire game, and now it's the best spot to be in the game. Okay, his entire team did die at some point, aimed from Poland, but he's done a great job maintaining the spot so far, taking a couple of shots, making sure that other people don't go for a crash. But like I was mentioning before, this is the meta of crashes. If there's ever a time where you want to crash a building, it's when you don't see anyone in there.
See it right here?
Oh, yep, this is probably going to be it, or they're going Volcano.
And the 4-man driving, it looks like, yeah, it's either Volcano or his compound. It looks like they are going to opt
this
for Volcano,
lucky nerd.
Especially with Michelin popping shots. If you're ever playing a solo compound shack, or solo compound chat, you 100% want to play aggressive like Michelin in here. You want to pop K9 shots, you use both of your guns. You have to make people think that there's at least 2 members in that compound.
Use both your guns there. Hopefully they don't get that intel, because by only firing one gun, you're giving them intel. Like, wait, why did only one person shoot at us there? And they're going to be trying to see if they can find out more info to see if there's a bit of a weakness there. Over here, we do see Equilibrium continuing to maintain the presence on this high ground. Miss Hairspray, she's looking for a new home. She is going to be driving right into the boars, but they're in a lot of bushes. Definitely, barely avoiding some of that debris. Hairspray, the hero of game 1, will not be dying this day. And just as that happens, as Aqua Boars beginning their push onto Seek Org, 2 going down right away. Forax, that was not meant to be underhanded right there. Slowing down the push a little bit, but as long as they don't get another friendly fire incident. Coming in from the right side, a new team is coming into third part. There's Rios and Asmodeus leading the way there. Is Aqua Boars need to finish this fight and get hard cover right away. as I say that with the minimap, we do see Ryozen beginning the third party this fight onto Firax. And now with Izako Boars themselves being third party, they're now showing that they need to find some hard cover right away. 3 players from Izako being pushed into the compound. Firax finding a nice comfy bush for himself, but getting shot in the back, spotted so far actually that I think these bushes, fully just even loading in and actually leading them right into the M4 of Ghostar from Izako Boars. But a hard shift south right in the center of Michladen's compound. Is he going to be hiding now? Because at some point he's going to get crashed.
I mean, I stand by it, but he just needs to keep playing aggressive. He's able to hold off multiple crashers here. Sooner or later, he's going to end up getting crashed, yes. But if he can maybe deter someone that isn't as confident in a crash, I think it's worth it. Because even if he does hold off and just snake it or camps it out, they're going to push as a 4-man and take him out.
A 6th potential roadkill, maybe a suicide. That might have been the blue, actually.
7th.
Not just, oh my god, what is going there might actually be something wrong with the vehicles, I'm not sure. It looks like, however, that a potential crash with Equilibrium will be ousted by Team Almost, who now find their compound as well as their side of the road pretty much not in play. So Team Almost going to have a very, very difficult game going forward. Meanwhile, however, with all of Bonzo team retreating to the high ground into the compound that's in play, that will allow Ryozen and the rest of Team 4 to get into the west side here of the compound. Ooh. And if they can hold off here long enough to get a pick that could allow them to push onto Bonzo team, but they do need to find that pick.
Yeah, 100%. You have to get the pick, or unless you have just a ton of smokes to play off. But realistically, they have a very small portion of that compound.
Oh, great what? Oh my goodness, Norky's getting a great knock onto mine from that flank. And now Team Almost, they are living life on the edge with evasion in mind. Quite frankly, the core of the team already down. Tanaka spotting out Norky's on the right, trying to go for a spray. Yuso going for the same flank as teammates where he needs to make a big play. While Tanaka will think he's going for the res, the smoke is in play. He's running around, Yuso spraying to the smoke with a barrel and saying this res is not going to happen. He heard him run into the bathroom. Might be able to get some. Actually, no, he doesn't know he's in the bathroom right now. Yuso doesn't. So playing very slow, but that's going to allow Izako Boars the time they need. They're coming from the right to give backup. Yuso is going to get flanked any second now. Holding this angle, but not in any cover. This is such a dangerous spot. Going to the building. Whoa, how did he not get shot right there? Oh my god. Going into the room, getting the down, trying to flush Norky's, but seeing an entire army outside the window will make him rethink that. And now Tanaka, during that distraction, will be using that to get into the zone, finding himself a nice bush, a nice hay bale. Team Almost will live another day, but there's other players, other teams that are making this feel their home. And actually, no, it's going to be Izako Boars who are going to be saying, no one gets away from us. You're going down. But look at this, more and more shots. There's a reason why Team Almost did not want to stay here, and it's because everyone can see you leaving as they get demolished, taken apart by Bonzo team, Panda team, and every other team that had eyes on them leaving that compound.
Yeah, and once again, a circle shift favoring Michelin. I'm surprised no one has even tried to claim his compound.
Our team in purple is probably going to make the play soon, but the Volcano Hill is still in. They know there's teams to the north that they probably want to gatekeep. Well, as I say that, Wizards. We do have the Wizards pushing in slowly from the west. O'Connell, who's almost always just like a step ahead of the rest of his team, not as far as his gameplay, but just literally. And actually, Michelin, yeah, getting crashed here by, I believe that is Simple, or Simply Simple. I think that's their name. Will be taken down here. No, Godlike Gamer, excuse me, getting taken down and claiming the center zone with their duo. Still crashable with the duo. However, looking over here, Wizards, they know a team's on this hill. O'Connell leading the way, waiting for his team to catch up, seeing one, snapping to him, but I just can't quite find these sprays. T1 will have better luck, but it will result in a trade here on the side. Dicer down, crawling away. Arrows as well, just kind of waiting. They're definitely taking their time here. They did win the down battle, getting 1 knock for the price of 2. A couple of frags could definitely push this in their favor. T-Bone trying to figure out what gun he wants to use, but Wizards, despite getting 2 knocks there, will be taking their time. They're not in zone. They have a player advantage, and they're still not going for this push. But T-Bone is. This is a really weird push coming out here. But over here, another fight bringing out the south. The Wizards going in now and are absolutely demolishing the team atop this hill. Zyron is only one up as well. Actually, Hofkid is up with one shot. He will be taken down, leaving Hofkid with that one shot behind the bike. The only one left alive on his team, trying to use this vehicle, this teetering, glitchy vehicle as hard cover, hanging in there as well. There's another fight breaking out to the south. This is a hot edge of the zone to be on right now, and Hofkid's probably wishing he was anywhere but here right now.
This is a point where you just keep chucking smokes on top of yourself. You let these two teams do
Bonzo! Bonzo's coming in from the north, and actually they're third-partying Wizard, leaving only Dicer and Arrows alive. So many kills obtained, though, by Wizards clean up Bonzo's team. And if there's any interaction that I thought I would see, it would not be Wizards getting flanked by Bonzo team and winning that anyway. And while that's been going on, Hofkid gets the res. He's back up to 2, and 2v3 is definitely winnable, especially while Wizard, they're weakened right now.
Yeah, I mean, this was their chance to push in. If they allow O'Connell and T-Bone to get back to full HP, they're now at a heavily disadvantaged spot.
Oh, no. Dying to the zone, it will be Mooney and the Guardsmen who are able to claim those. And once again, the Guardsmen, a team that I did not expect to play that well going into this. I thought that maybe that finale might have been a fluke, but no, they are proving me wrong by making it to the top 5, winning a pretty hefty fight there. A very, very hectic fight on the southwest edge of the zone. However, the one to their north is still going on as the Wizards are somewhat pushed in by the zone. However, like you're mentioning, all 4 players able to be rezzed. A frag coming into smoke. That smoke, a beacon of their current location. That's going to be the easiest frag of his life. Xylon going down. Hofkid, the only one left up in a second one, takes him down as he actually downs himself, probably intentionally, knowing he was going to die there. At that point, I think you got to go for the push right away.
I'm guessing Lyron had a nade in his hand, and he went to go throw it over as soon as the other nade
it wasn't a suicide, it was a friendly fire.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, like, as soon as the nade came out, he dropped it on himself.
It's for the best, honestly.
Yeah. We do have 3 members of Panda Team still up on this northeast side. They have a pretty good route straight into the circle. They're going to have to smoke, as we see here, but they have a ridge that they can play right in front of them, and if they make it in with some vehicles,
once Wizards Hill is out of play, this is actually going to be a game-winning spot for them. They have about a quarter of the zone all to themselves, almost, and hard cover from the vehicles. Yes. This is really, really nice here from Panda Team. They even have the smokes to back this up. I'm a little bit worried about Magister Z getting in from the east side of the zone. He's not pushing him in, but all he's waiting for is for the Wizards to be forced off of this hill by the blue, and then once his teammates spot that out, he can just come in pretty easily. And look at this, Wizards actually, they're hungry. They're smelling the blood in the water, but Mooney here playing the snake in the grass, getting one. We've seen how strong snakes can be in this game, and Mooney will be taking it home, finishing off 2 players from the Wizards, and that was our only 4-man team left, if I'm not mistaken. I think Panda Team had 3, so them going down means that this game has been turned on its head. It is anyone's game now.
8 kills for both Wizards and Guardsmen. These
They've
guys
been playing really great. Yeah. These are 2 teams where, like, I want them to do well, but I don't expect them to do well. And now they're just proving they're absolutely contenders in this match. O'Connell spotting Chroma out around the tree, but can't quite spot him. Needs to land an M24 shot. Going prone here. This could be, whoa, a great spray from Chroma. Finishes off the Wizards, and they won that 2v4.
Just phenomenal. And that kind of goes to say how it's important to push up over hills that you aren't entirely sure what's on the other side of it as a unit, because the Wizards pushed up 1 by 1 and then 1 by 1, and it ended up costing them the entire game.
At the end of the day, though, I think that with the zone being what it is right now, it's a great victory from the Guardsmen. They've gotten so many kills, they've gotten all they need to do, but the Panda Team controls so much of the zone right now. Like the northern third, and even getting gifted a crate as... Take it.
In 249.
Take it.
He is not going to. That is unfortunate. With 6 alive, I can maybe understand
the team is trolling. They're trolling.
Oh, he does spot out an enemy inside the yellow house. If Blasto takes 1 step too far, it could be the end of him. Magister is just waiting for it. Here it goes. The shot coming out. Ooh, you had it.
Well, it's a bold action,
now the smoke isn't employed, so he can't see through it. We see the outline of his enemy, but he does not see him, unfortunately.
And it's not like they want to push. They don't want to give up this god spot.
No,
like, if they wanted to do it, that would have been the time. You know, that's that only firing port, that only window that's currently being taken up by smoke. But at the same time, you're really going to push 2 combo to the 3-man when you're not exactly sure what's going on in the zone right now. You heard a lot of shots ring out. Maybe you can use some deductive reason to figure out exactly what teams are left. But not a great push there, so they're just going to be waiting, holding their spot in the northern third of the zone, which means the next fight we're probably going to be seeing is going to be Blastronaut versus Chroma on the far south side.
As soon as you say that, D-Wad, Panda off in the north, taking down Chroma way off to the south, leaving just 2 members from Godlike Gamers up. And they are inside the house. And honestly, with this phase 8 closing in, Godlike Gamer is in a rough position because Panda Team can just hang out there and wait for phase 9.
They just gotta get lucky.
Center. Yeah, exactly.
They just gotta get lucky and not lose these peak battles, not get shot in the back, which I'm pretty sure he still can get shot in the back. Although now that smoke being out, that's so smart from Blastronaut saying, I don't want to peek this window, I only want to look at this other one. So just making sure that only what he's looking at can see him. He will be not dying this day as a result, but they essentially... Well, actually, I was going to say they need to get lucky, but actually this is the last zone right now. So looking at where it is, I do think that this...
There it is.
I actually doesn't even know what the zone favorites anymore. 3v1 is almost impossible for Godlike Gamers to win here. That was a huge shot from Magister Z to hit. And actually, Chris, he's teasing the res. He's saying, do I want to go for this? But no, D-Wad is not going to let that happen. Taking hard cover in pretty much dead center of the zone in this form of this tree. Chris is now... juking left, juking right, trying to see how he can get across. He's still trying to get this res, but no, it's not going to happen. Magister Z will get the bleed out, the kill onto Blastronaut. And now he's just trying to find some cheeky, just trying to see if he can use anything to get out of this building, use anything to isolate a single member of Panda Team and take a 1v1 peak battle. But that's going to be really hard to win. Even spraying through the smoke, D-Wad is finding a little bit of damage on Chris. With the zone coming in, you can't afford this.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, in my opinion, you died to the zone here. You don't want to give an extra point out to Panda Team, who's obviously going to get the win. And then
this is
you
many
give them,
points.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be 16 points if they won right here without getting this final kill on Chris. And that's still a lot of points in their name. But at the end of the day, with the amount of times we've seen ties happen, it's just not worth giving up that extra point.
I absolutely agree with that one. And now D-Wad, he knows that they've won. They can do some basic arithmetic here. And even getting unluckily headshot through the smoke. He is just sick of this, man, but he's hanging in there. He is not going to go down without a fight, but maybe you should, Chris. And honestly, actually, no, he definitely knows that Panda Team, his last 3 players left up alive. Going on the left side, trying to take a 1v1. He hung in there. He did
Almost
exactly what he should have done if he was trying to make his way in, try to win the 1v1, but it will not happen today. Panda Team winning that with 7 kills, but coming in from probably the most unexpected corner of the zone for a win. Like, they controlled an open field for most of that play. Well, not even controlled. They were just in an open field. So very, very surprising that Panda Team was able to take that open field into a stronghold of a spot in the end game. Definitely that ridge line and putting a lot of work in, but mostly the best player from Panda Team was Mooney from the Guardsmen, who took down, taking down the 1v2 from the Wizards, and it was more so that one play than taking down the Wizards in their entirety. The Wizards was the biggest threat to Panda Team, both in numbers and their positioning. They had the high ground for a long time. They were somewhat contesting Panda Team from moving into their side of the zone just by existing. And once they get down that hill, you know, it's not Panda Team's direct problem anymore. But if Wizards are in that compound as a 4-man instead of the 2-man that Panda Team was fighting, that's a very different game.
Yeah.
That compound is a little bit closer to center zone. So if it's just a waiting game, then Wizards sit there. Panda Team's forced in the open. They have about 10 seconds of open fire. At that point, smoke's probably out. But at that point, if smokes are out, then you have like a 4v3 smoke coming in from the zone. That's still favored to Wizards.
Yeah. The only problem I have with that compound is that there's only a couple different angles to peek from, and they're very easy to smoke. Like, you're in grenade range, so you could chuck a smoke at 2 different windows. 2 smokes basically eliminates their range of view, and then they're forced to either have to step outside the smoke or go on the backside of the building. And even then, I mean, you can have your bolt action trained on one, and then there's only one other way they can peek. It's just like, it's kind of an easy way to eliminate the threat from the compound. If you're Panda Team, you're sitting strong. We didn't get to catch it on camera because there was so much action going down, but I noticed in the minimap and then also the kill feed, Panda Team ended up pushing, I think, from the northeast onto the yellows that are out in the field, and they wiped the team. I think it was XQ. I can't remember what team, but there was a team inside the yellows in the middle of the field, and
I think that was Panda Team. I know that Equilibrium tried
that was
driving through it. But they may have the Wizard Tower, yeah. So I don't actually know.
Or
exactly
it was Wizard Tower, yeah. Not
works.
The yellows. It was Wizard Tower. Panda Team ended up pushing them at Wizard Tower and eliminating them. And it's like, basically, you wouldn't think they'd be able to push
Yeah,
through
that's insane that they're allowed to do that.
and then have to push through multiple teams in that field, or one strong team and then get a couple other picks. But realistically, that's not an easy push. Mm-hmm. So even though it's a 7-kill win, a win is great either way. Like if you got the win, like congratulations.
They didn't find those kills on rotation in the early game that usually result in those 12-kill games. You know, get 1 or 2, maybe even 3 on rotation, and then you get 7 or 8 kills in the end game to get that win for 11 or 12 kills total. They didn't get those early game kills, but they did exactly what they needed to do in the mid to late game. And quite frankly, that's the Panda team I know. They took a little break from SSL for a while, but before they left, they were one of the smartest teams that I've seen, almost always in the mid to late game, playing exactly how they should be playing to maximize their chances of winning, in my opinion anyway. I just think that as far as like however they make their decisions, if it's an IGL, if it's in Democracy, whatever, they're doing things right now.
Another team that I thought did things right, Wizards. Last week we didn't see them do as well as I had predicted. But this week they came out strong. They took a central compound early. It ended up hard shifting off of them, so they were forced to push up the hill. They push up the hill. They get 2 downs and 2 finishes onto the Volcano Hill, and then they get third-partied by a 4-man off to the north.
Bonzo team.
They turn on them.
It wasn't any fourth party. It was Bonzo team, dude.
They turned on it, eliminated the entirety of Bonzo team, got the reses, got the heals, and then went and finished off the fight that they initially started. And they finished, I think, with 8 kills or 9 kills. But either way, the pushes that they had to go through,
very hard.
Not easy to do, yeah. And
I'm gonna be the bad guy here for a sec, though. I'm gonna be the bad guy here. So, the compound that they were allowed to get in Phase 1, I am astounded that it wasn't empty when they went to it, because there was about 4 teams that dropped in that area. Quite frankly, I think it might have been like dumb luck that wasn't.
Everything in the surrounding area was taken up too, pretty much.
Yeah, literally every compound. The fact they were able to find that was actually nuts. On top of that, I think it was when they were pushing Volcano and Bonzo came in from their north. The 2 men that they were fighting were able to get reses off, heal up, and there was a point in time where the Wizards were resing, and the team on top of the hill were at full HP. I think it was Simply Simple. I'm not sure. I keep throwing the name around. Whenever I'm not sure what team it is.
I don't even think Simply Simple is playing today.
Maybe.
Just kidding.
Maybe it was Team Ready. I have no idea. They're really good at snaking plays. Maybe they snaked into this game as well.
Right.
But there was a point in time where I think that if they were reading the kill feed and knowing exactly who they were fighting, they would have realized immediately.
There's 2 knocks.
There's 2 knocks. This is our best chance. And eventually we even saw them die for literally nothing.
Yeah,
so I do think that Wizards got incredibly lucky, but the big story, and this is what I'll agree with you on, the big story is that they were able to take down Bonzo team after getting third-partied very fast. that was really good.
Yeah, anytime you're in an engagement, a 4v4 fight, and then all of a sudden you get flanked on by a 4-man team,
it's lights out usually.
Yeah, it's usually lights out. And the fact that they were able to turn it into their favor and get the knocks and get the finish on the Bonzo team nonetheless, and then quickly turn and do the exact same to the team that they initially fought. Granted, a little bit of luck came into play. I 100% agree with that. And that's PUBG as well.
PUBG.
Sometimes the luck favors you, sometimes it doesn't. As we saw, the luck favoring... I can't remember the guy who was holding down the center compound.
If we're talking about heroes, individuals of the game, Miss Hairspray, oh my god, just making waves right away in Phase 1. They're teaching me now how to play this game. In fact, it happened a lot. A lot of people just finding spots and using the grass, using concealment, just
hiding in plain sight.
It happens so often in this game. With Miss Hairspray, she was able to make it work by getting that initial knock that she needed, just proning it. Obviously, Teletubbies, they didn't think they were losing that. They got that knock right away. They only saw 3 players, so they just walked into it. They didn't even care. And honestly, I don't really blame them. So it's like this is like such an easy fight with the numbers on our side. We know we're a strong team, but I have never really seen anyone play the way Miss Hairspray did. Just getting that knock and then proning, and then peeking and then proning again. Like, she played that so well.
Yeah, and realistically, if you're going to push up and over a hill, your eyes will immediately be trained to the trees and the hard cover. Maybe vehicles. the open ground that's covered by only grass.
Why are you there?
It's going to be like probably your second or third thing to check. It's going to give Miss Hairspray that initial jump, and then Miss Hairspray executed it perfectly. I think she got headshots on almost all of them, besides like maybe the final member.
Yeah.
But she got the headshots and got the downs, and then she didn't get hungry and go for the flush. She did try to nade it once, but we do have the scoreboards here.
Yeah, not sorted by the score value, but it does look like that with that win, Pantene was able to get there. But the Guardsmen with the kill leaders in game 1, 10 kills to their name. There it is. Yeah, the Guardsmen in second place doing a magnificent job this game. Wizards in third. So these three teams, I'm not too surprised to be seeing Pantene in first place. I think they were a very strong team. I think they did a lot of good things. But I am so happy that the Guardsmen and the Wizards are two teams that, quite frankly, I want them to do good, but I don't expect them to do good, are doing good today. Well, and having a lot of kills. You know, if they just got like a second place with 2 or 3 kills, like, all right, good job sinking. Like that's
right.
You did good.
They earned it.
Yeah, they earned it this game. Getting so many kill points and showing that they deserve to be here, man. I'm looking forward to be seeing the Guardsmen and the Wizards in the next couple of games today.
Another team that I don't think we've talked about just yet, I mean, we might have mentioned their name earlier, is Zako Boris. 8 kills. They ended up, no placement points, so all their points came straight from kills. They ended up having to push through an open field to the Yellows, eliminated the team there. And they did the exact same thing to Team Almost in the southern combat. And then, granted, they had to run through the open one more time, and that's when they finally got caught out. And
with their positioning, they were playing on hard mode.
Yeah, exactly. And they were able to still pick up 8 kills. And so sometimes, if you don't get circle blessed, you get supplementing those placement points with kills. Like if you know you're going to end up going out, likely outside of the placement points, start taking those team fights, rack up some kills, even if it's just 4 kills like Miss Hairspray had. That is the equivalent of a 4th place in placement points.
I'm trying to think about how Zako Boris played for a while. Because I'm trying to think, like, okay, was it just a circle or could they have done something different this game? Because I feel like if the last option you have is, like, pushing 2 different compounds, then your positioning probably wasn't the best. But there were a couple of hardships that caught a lot of teams off guard in the second and third phases. And they still got a lot of work done.
Yeah. Plus the circle, I think the majority of the time, besides like phase 1 and phase 2, it was taken up by like 50% was field, and you can play hay bales and stuff.
Northwest Island in play too.
Yeah, like realistically, it's just it's not an easy zone to play, and if you don't have a compound already, it gets even harder. And so we are going to jump over to Miramar, still on the NA side of things, but going over to the different map, more desert. Break out with some sandals. Not have to worry about taking over compounds.
This person is going to be dead before the game starts.
Easy to spot out. But yeah.
Well, no, they're going to die from heat stroke wearing all that black clothing. I'm worried for them.
Another great flight plan. I mean, look at it. It literally is splitting the map directly in half. You could fold this map along that flight plan, and it comes out pretty much even. I love it.
At this point, we can literally advertise the SSL as having the best flight plans in the comp PUBG scene. Just come here doing a fair flight plan and take a fair fight in the zone as well, quite central. We didn't tinker with either of these at all. I don't think you even can tinker with a flight plan at all, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't think
so. No, we're just lucky as heck going into this second game in the NA split. However, we're going to be seeing if teams can do well. We do have, I think, a majority of EU teams in the lobby today.
Okay.
So I'm especially looking at the Guardsmen to potentially be taking a big game home if they can today. They did have a lot of their breakout games on week 2, the week they gained access into the finale, on Miramar. So I'm definitely looking for maybe not by choice. I know a lot of people are just like, I hate Miramar, but I always win it. That might be a case here. I haven't actually talked to any of them about it, but I will be looking to see how they do. And even looking at this, Val Del Mar taken. I hope that these guys usually drop here, because in almost all the comp Miramar I've seen, Val Del Mar is like never taken.
Yeah, it's usually left open. It's decent loot. But the fact that it's on a far extremity of the map, you're literally in the far southwest corner. You could go to prison, it could be a little worse.
Camp.
Exactly. And it just, let's say this circle shifts up to the northeast, you are in such a long rotation position.
What is Evasion doing? Are they going for a car early? Is that why he's here?
I'm not entirely sure. It looks like they tried to shoot over towards Impala. Maybe Evasion dropped out a little bit too early. We do see some early contention down into Monte.
Uh-oh. Asmodeus on his back foot, haven't been able to find a gun to getting shot in the back once by an M16. If that was an auto rifle, he would be dead. Ignoring the grenades, ignoring the meds, saying, if it's not a gun, I do not care. Trying to get to his teammates. He's shortly behind him. Kuruma is in the guardsman. The team contesting this, getting an early knock, probably will result in an early kill, but Kuruma, so intelligent, not getting hungry, realizing with the high ground to his west, there could be someone else actually spotting Zlatik, so literally using Asmodeus as bait. However, M16, no helmet. I'm not sure if bait's what you want right now, man.
Yeah,
He realizes that.
I was going to say, that's a tough fight to peek, because if one shot from Zlot comes out and connects to his head...
That's an easy gun to accidentally headshot with.
Right. It would be the end of Chroma, and Chroma doesn't have teammates around to necessarily provide support like Asmodeus does.
Mooney's in a really weird spot, though, behind Zlatik, so could potentially flank him. He actually can hear Mooney right now, so Zlatik realizes this is a possibility. Zlatik's going for the repeak, and there it is, or Mooney going for the repeak, and there it is, getting a second knock and a flush here. Dude, the guardsmen, they're not playing together like physically, like geographically, but they're like having a lot of teamwork coming to play right now.
Yeah, and Chroma, I like this reposition, takes the high ground, gets to the second floor, and he's able to get the flush from there.
These guys are so smart.
It's just so much safer for him to do this than try to push up over that ridge and get greedy. Ryozin's trying to spot him out.
They're so
Chroma
smart.
gets the headshot on the Ryzen, take him down to half HP. This is not good for Team 4.
The brains on these guys are gigantic right now. I'm very impressed right now with the guardsmen. Steiner, however, was able to take their old teammate's spot. And now that's going to be a very, very hard position to flank. That being said, he's definitely... Oh, no. He was relying on Ryozin to win that 1v1. That being said, he doesn't escape plan and play, can easily drive off the Northwest. So Invicta Gaming going to be trying to find a new home for their last player to try and either get 1 or 2 kills or maybe snaking. He's getting shot in the back. They're chasing him. And Kuruma, man, he's the hero of this team. Let's be real. When we were talking about prone strategies last game, we talked about Miss Hairspray a lot, but it was also Kuruma who had like a 100-meter prone scar spray to take down or either finish off the Wizards. How we're looking over here, another 1v1 eventually happening here. I don't think that winning nose is coming as occupied. I'm not sure if it's going to be really a factor, however, as he is able to get in his bike and drive away. He is now beginning to get shot at, fired upon from the south. It is going to be NSG King from the Panda team trying to find that knock, but finding a little bit of hard cover. NSG King will be not finding anything else and not finding too much at all, as we saw his kit there, 60 rounds and almost no ammo, or 60 and almost no equipment.
Winnie ended up pulling him to the north compound and stopped. And he might be wanting to take this fight. It looks like he's going to try and peek back. He does have the 8x on the mini, so it's
ego.
Yeah, well, it's a good gun to try to pick this fight with. Granted, he is outside of the circle. He doesn't necessarily have the best loot as far as meds and everything goes. He's got enough to carry on the game. He might be able to pick up this early kill, and he probably realizes that King might be all by himself as well. No Panda team member is anywhere around to help, but that's the same case for Winnie, and so this is essentially just a 1v1, and
I think if I was Winnie, I'd do this. Like, not because I think it's the right play, but because I just want to kill him. Oh no, Teletubby's having another hard game. Kleinman's stuck here near the hacienda proper area, trapped between the members of Equilibrium. 5 first aid kits, finally finding time to pop one of them. Attila trying to find a flank on the hill, but a frag from SKZ from the rear will take him down. Teletubbies are having a horrible set of games.
Oh no, it looks as if Kleinman might have flipped his buggy and that's why he was stuck there. Or no, okay, he got his tires popped, I think, and
both.
Yeah, both. Yeah, the tires popped leading into the flip to buggy. You do see that position that EQ is in that commonly.
Oh God, look at the northwest side here. NSG King overstays welcome. Now he set himself up in a firing line. Even Venus trying to actually chase and trying to pursue and cut him off over the hill. Might actually be able to do so. His other teammates cannot find anything. Skaska ready for a fight. He's waiting for it, but the Murado, as well as the route they took over top the biggest hill, is going to result in it being very, very difficult for Orion Prime to continue chasing this. If they go too far, you know, you can meme pretty hard in public games in doing this, but Panteam's leading it directly to his entire team. You're going to get shot if you follow him too much longer, and they realize that, luckily.
Yeah, you don't see too many car chases go down too often.
This is not good.
Yeah, them parking here could essentially lose them their vehicle. It doesn't look like D-Wad's looking in their direction. Yeah, he's inside Watertown. King's still driving along the ridge there, taking some shots towards him, but he should be able to get to safety. Doesn't look like his vehicle's damaged too much, so he's going to be able to take over, looks like gas station safely. I think he's in this circle, though. He's not inside the circle, so he's going to have to keep rotating in. I don't know. I think they need to get somewhere central.
Wizards looking for a camp here on the main road. T-Bone trying to find double long. A lot of shots landing eventually, but not quite fast enough. And quite frankly, a lot of those were arm shots, sadly for him. 19, 20 damage per shot there. It will be his member, that player from Derange, able to scout that out, leading the Maddie away and out of danger. Pointing where Miss Hairspray is, though, because that is her team. They're actually still in Trumasera, sitting not 1, but 2 scouts out early. But I feel like at this point, you kind of should have set the rest of your players to follow, because if you wait for too long, the information your scouts gather is going to become less and less accurate.
Yeah, I think traveling as a 4-man is just safer overall. You can send the one person maybe a few hundred meters ahead, and you usually send your fastest vehicles, either the Murado or the 2-seater, just like they did. And that's why Maddie is able to survive that, is because the 2-seater blew by all the damage and survived it, because it's a very hard-moving and very fast-moving target. Yeah. And Maddie's able to reroute based on that. But Miss Hairspray and Seamaker aren't going to have that option. Chroma rotating up and in behind Seamaker. This could be trouble if Seamaker... Okay, he is going to rotate.
I don't like this from Span. Your team already cleared one direction. Just follow them. You don't need to clear 2 things at once. It's just risky. Hairspray, if she hears this, might get out of her car and take a spray down. Although Mooney as well is looking for a kill. Is Spen? No, he blows the tire in a great spray from Mooney. Although Spen, despite getting that, is not going to be stopping. And quite frankly, I don't think he could have if he wanted to there. Going to be continuing down the hill. And now Miss Hairspray is just... Oh my god! He just a drive by to blow your tire. That would be so frustrating for me. Like you didn't even kill me. You just blew my tire out. You jerk.
It made it that much harder to rotate in, and that's a long rotate. It's got several hundred meters.
And Seamaker's not coming back. Her teammate's not coming back.
We did see a kill in the kill feed. It looked like Maddie went down early once again, trying to maybe rotate into a compound that was already taken. A lot is open on the east side, but the west side is pretty congested.
East side, very open, as you said, and quite frankly, the east side is the center of the zone right now. So Double Long, if he's able to find a compound for his team, despite losing 1 player, could continue scouting out, but it's a bit weird right now for their spot with Double Long being so far away from his team. It's almost like he doesn't want to scout. He doesn't want to go for center until his teammates are a little bit closer, so they can all actually capitalize and maybe even crash something together. Looking over here, though, Spen getting himself down. Seamaker is able to contest or to finish him off as well. You see Mooney down as well. I don't know what just happened, but Seamaker was making some magic happen off screen.
I'm guessing Mooney ended up Oh, okay, there we go. I was thinking those were the same team for whatever reason.
Okay.
But yeah, the rotation camp didn't work out as he had predicted. Miss Hairspray is in a lot of trouble to reconnect with Double Lung. She's going to have to drive through multiple teams, and she's got a buggy with 3 wheels. I just don't see it happening.
I feel like Derange is just playing like, oh, someone's over there. I'll just kill them. Well, it's like strategy. What's that? And they're actually making it work. So I'm not saying this is like an insult. It's
hey,
just
that's
like,
a strategy.
Just kill them.
You see or hear people and you kill them. I mean, especially with this point system, it's a strategy.
All right, yeah, I like it.
Might not work out all the time, but
team almost in identical spots to what they had in the previous game. I talked to Evasion actually in an interview recently. You can find it in the VODs on our Twitch page if you guys are interested. But his team style is almost always trying to go for a little bit of a passive early game. Because if you're in a good spot in the late game, you will get the kills. They will come to you. So they're not one of those teams that studies a lot. They're not one of those teams that tries to go for these rotation camps because they don't know where teams rotate a lot oftentimes. They're just trying to avoid that entire potential for death, keep their 4-man alive, and then try to take control of the game in the mid to late game, which is absolutely a strategy, especially if no one else does it, quite frankly. Oftentimes, strategies kind of are like that, where like the less other people do them, the better they get, unless they're just dumb.
Fair. We do have Team Almost pushing up to the south of Teletubbies, as well as Bonzo Team. Bonzo Team and Teletubbies inside a hard compound, though. The vehicle tires are going to be taken out by Mime, getting the good shots out quick.
One more buggy.
Yeah, I'd say if he gets one more buggy tire, like he literally just put Teletubbies. They're stuck now. I mean, they can't run out. They're taking shots from Team Almost. They're taking shots from Bonzo Team. The nade coming out. That is a long-range nade, not able to bounce up and over the fence.
In a different world, in a different...
Wait, what's going on? Connecting to the head of Snip. It just leaves Mamek up now. I don't think Bonzo Team's going to be able to push on this because that is a quite open push. But Mamek getting the smoke out. He's going to start with the res on Evis. I wonder
How did that happen?
Yeah, it doesn't look like Almost can see him. They weren't looking. They could potentially see him through that door, but they weren't looking.
Mara's antsy. He's antsy. He wants him. He wants to get these kills. He knows that Team Almost has fallen back as well. But no, his team pulls on the leash and say, no. Team Almost might be on that hill. Maybe should be waiting. It's just the safer play to not go for that push. I can see a world where that does happen. Like I was saying, though, for the frag, never mind. There's a little bit to go. On the far north side, we do have 3 or 4 teams here. They're trying to make their way in and around El Azahar. Orion is one of the only blue teams. The numbers are not on their side, Charity.
I mean, yeah, they did get both the reses, though, so I'll give it to them. But yeah, this is not an easy push for them. They have all their vehicles taken out. Marselek taking shots. Morrow going back down from Snip, actually. And then they have Izako Boars off to the northeast. Izako Boars in a great position. Top of the hill. Yeah, I don't think Bonzo... And this is exactly why I was saying you don't make this push. It's because you literally have to run out in the open. You offer your body up to so many different angles. And they ended up losing 2 trying to be greedy, and they didn't get anything for it.
We saw Morrow going for this push, but quite frankly, Bonzo team could have seen that coming. If they just were kept 360... looking around all these hills, all these places where they could get shot from. Izako Boars spot is a very popular spot, and they could have spotted them, but they're peeking right now. So losing one player from that, and even Mar crawling on the open, he didn't have to leave his cover. All he had to do was wait for the smoke to pop, and he's probably getting rest right now.
Yep, I completely agree. And if he got enough smokes out, he could potentially climb back. Oh, Mammoth coming out with a grenade. That does look good. It's going to bounce up and open.
Ooh, Rash through the reser is shot under the truck by Snip. So actually, I was saying they probably could have waited, but no. Teletubbies were actually able to contest it the whole time. But Izako Boars is the third-party nation, the team to worry about here. Putting a lot of damage out. Snip trying to look for these bodies under the smoke. Looking for the last player of Bonzo's team, but while he's waiting, he's getting these shots. Finishing off Marselek. Snip Zico getting his first kill, and actually Teletubby's first kill of the game. Doesn't spot Rocky Cutie in the window. Might find his head getting blown off soon, but Ivas, who Mammoth, who pushed up much further than his team, might be able to find one of these knocks.
He sees the dead body. He pops about 7 shots in
before realizing. You can tell that's not a dead guy. That's not a live guy.
It's okay, though. Mammoth does make it inside the compound. He gets the finish onto Raj, and it looks like he's going to push back to reconnect with his teammates. He doesn't want to overextend too far, especially not knowing the exact position of Rock QT. This circle shift, though, shifting back over to the northeast.
Oh, this is not a compound I've ever seen a fight break out in, but Seek Org and Orion Prime are showing that even miracles can happen on this map. 2 knocks quick for Orion Prime. Forax is res, but Ness is not going to have the same luck. Too far away from his team. He will get bled out here. Skaska on the north side from Orion Prime in a similar spot in the minimap as his teammates do begin rotating around to him. The frag actually bouncing off the tree before it made it to this hay bale. If that actually bounced properly, these 2 players might be dead, but they just can't quite find the right angle with the elevation.
This one,
he can definitely make some work happen. Barlow has taken a lot of damage from that frag. Venus trying to see if he can chuck another one. He trusts in his arm. He thinks that he can find this knock, and the second one will land at Bar. Lost his feet, and he will do it. Venus evening the odds and giving a little bit of time for their res to occur on the north side.
Barlos is in a dangerous position here. He's kind of like his teammate where he's just not going to be able to get resed effectively. Furax getting down to half HP, leaving just Sunzi Ninja up to protect the push.
Isn't he flankable through this window? No,
yeah.
Actually, he would have been, but they're just pushing. So they will actually be trying to get in closer and trying to capitalize on the current situation of the fight, trying to flank at close range and confirm those knocks. Although as I say that, we actually had Winnie move to the south and get third-partied by a different team. So Orion Prime, they have taken this fight too slow, and it occurred for too long. Other teams hearing it are trying to see what they can get done. Even if they win this fight, it might be a Pyrrhic victory.
Yeah, I mean, they're costing themselves a good position. They're taxing their meds, their armor. They're likely they both have lost a player by now. Or well, no, the blue team was Ryan was able to get res. They do get the push into the compound. They are low. Winnie is at least. They got the res though. Orion Feller and teammate are pushing in. They get the shots into Sunny's.
Good knock, Skaska. Not even trying to heal up, just going for it. And showing what he can get done. A finish on the outside. Barlos doesn't even get to bleed out. He will get finished off. But holding the angle, Skaska runs in. His teammate wasn't ready for that as well. He did not expect that someone was in there at all. And now going for the flushes, he takes on 2 players from Orion Prime. Winnie on him, and Venus trying to move in and make this push happen. I hate that they weren't all in there for this.
Yeah, they could have played it a little bit slower and they would still be all 4 alive. And this circle does shift off them. There's 18 seconds, still starts closing in. And this is phase 4, so this is going to chunk.
He's giving him the juke. He's ran outside of the first floor for Rax. And now is Creep walking around. However, if they can stop walking, you can still hear this Creep walking. Now, Furax knows that. He's not going to be insulting these guys' headphones. He knows they've got good ones. Although, they're still playing around. They still think they know where he is. Oh, but jumping down from up top. M4 spray, Orion Prime eliminating Seek Org, but they have a long...
I bet you they don't make it in here.
I don't think they do. Even the zone or teams on the northeast edge will demolish them. Although as I say that, Team Almost is taking down one of the teams that will probably be doing the gatekeeping here. Longest line, taken down and bled out. Although taking a lot of pressure here, and quite frankly, there's no cover at their back. They don't know what's going on around them. We know that there's no other teams around them, but the terrain around here is in such a way that it's going to be pretty easy for them to get shot in the back by like 8x minis or SLRs, for example.
We do have Izaka Boars still holding down a compound that they've been in since I think phase 1 or 2. And
best spot in the game
right now. Right, I agree. It's got high ground. They do see J5 driving off to their south. They were popping some shots. Team Almost doing the exact same onto Chocolate Thunder. I love the team name, Chocolate Thunder. They did lose one member, and now they're going to push back towards the east. They're going to have to keep out Winnie and Venus Baby.
Oh, Teletubbies getting some revenge on Rocky Cutie, as I believe that is Bonzo team that is eliminated from the game. More shots bringing out here. Teletubbies is trying to prove that this is their game. And quite frankly, I have seen them get demolished this game, but if there's one thing that they are good at, it is long-range DMR fire. This is essentially the skill that got them the finale spot in the first place. So that the fact that Equilibrium is in their sights means the Teletubbies, man, they've got your days and they are numbered here. Still have balls like an Attila to the north, so Equilibrium isn't completely out of the game, but with Teletubbies contesting the push across the valley, with the Izaka Boars just being the direct gatekeeping and directly fighting them, preventing them from pushing into the ridge on foot. It's going to be a very, very hard rotate for the Equilibrium to get away with here.
And Baltic spots out the down member from Teletubbies, trying to get some pop shots into him, maybe steal the kill.
Oh,
so
he
there's
finds
some
it.
shots, yeah. And they need to get the smoke out here soon, and then the res almost immediately.
He is cursing this
good.
M4 so much right now. If this was like a mini or an SLR, this guy would be dead already. But can't see the tracers, can't quite know exactly what the zeroing should be precisely. And with the smoke coming out, they will be able to get that res. Very unlucky for Balls as they not find better loot early on to find that kill. New zone now popping, and the east side is looking like the next spot for their big engagement, as once again the Guardsmen down to 2 players. And potentially in the next 5 plays, oh, on the far east side, the second and third place team in a 2v2 right now. Harrison beginning this with initial spray. No kills yet, and actually is taken down by a third party. Gaver Ahmed taking her down in a prone here from Seamaker. He tried to do what Miss Hairspray did, but if you're on the incline, they actually saw that he couldn't look up anymore. So prone in there, not the play to make, but quite frankly, he was probably dead anyway.
Team Almost hearing these shots, they are hungry. They want these kills. They're going to push over. They're going to spot out Chocolate Thunder first. And so we'll see if maybe Chocolate Thunder can get the jump on him. No, that's not the case. Tanaka does spot out Mad Attacks from behind the rock. Mad Attacks going down to 1 shot in the grenade, or rather Chroma's mini from the long range. But Evasion stealing the kill.
Not letting it get stolen. That was their kill.
Yep.
Even if they didn't get the down, that was definitely what they wanted to have happen there. And at this point, 10 teams up, 28 alive. There are not many 4-mans left up. It's like them and Izaka Boars, and I think that's it.
Yep. The rest of the teams are stuck. There's several 3-man teams up, though, so we might see some contention for that 4-man spot.
But the team love their ridges, man.
I don't blame them. I mean, you got line of sights on everything. Speaking of ridges, Master spotting out Steiner from his ridge. Steiner's, as I'd say, in a very tough position. And he goes down and out in 9th place, right outside the placement points, unfortunately. Team Almost hearing these shots from Master. Yusogol is going to push up a little close.
Does Team Almost have enough elevation to flank into team's cover?
Oh, yep.
There's a couple of trees which are preventing Dawad from being spotted by Yusa. They see the body down there, and now trying to use some detective skills to figure out exactly what happened. It's sad that Yusa doesn't have a better scope. That is X-ray, so he's behind that ridge. So Panda Team, after hearing Team Almost begin firing, are actually reacting immediately, pushing to the west, making sure they don't get flanked. Magister is in a rough spot, but looking at the map, Looking at the map, Panda Team actually is just rotating directly into the 4-man of Izako Boars. So it's like you want to fight one 4-man or the other only 4-man in the team. It's in the game. It's a very, very hard spot to be in.
We do have another 4-man off to the southeast. Wizards O'Connell trying to make that not the case. Popping
That's
some shots with
friendly
the
fire,
SLR.
O'Connell.
Yeah, you're both purple. You gotta not shoot at that. Some shots coming out from the north. The third party from Team Almost taking some shots and damage onto the majority of Wizards. Actually, almost all of them down to 75% HP.
As far as bad spots go, Wizards are making the best out of a bad situation on the far south side. They have their cars in a little ridge line. The wheels will be safe.
Chroma and PDS are able to make it inside this southern compound. Like,
I don't know if that's
push.
a good thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. But Chroma finding a lot of damage to Tanaka, using the auto, trying to chase him down. But shot in the back. Tanaka just juking him and allowing use of the time to find him. That was really nice from Tanaka.
That was smart, yeah. He got the damage, and so he just kept
just buy time.
Yeah, exactly. The circle does shift off them here and towards the Izako Boars. The Izako Boars pushing up onto Panda Team, getting 2 knocks immediately, leaving just Matchster. These guys are tearing it up today.
They've had a great spot to gatekeep the entire west side of the zone. They have not lost anyone doing so.
They're about to get 9 here.
Yeah, they're about to get 9, maybe even a 10th if they find Magister Z. And look at this Team Almost. They have moved off the hilltop into the compound, allowing Izako Boars control of the entire north side of the zone. In fact, looking at Team Almost, they're just wandering around. They're just trying to find good spots for each other. But look at this. Bruxel behind the tree. Trying to find this boy behind the tree. Can't quite find him. Didn't really need to play out there. If he pushed in on the right, he could have gotten finished. Also, they're playing it slow as long as his player couldn't get finished. That's what you want.
If Mime and Team Almost are quick enough, they might be able to take Izako Boars' old compound and then effectively gatekeep them out.
Not in time. Mime could do it,
yeah,
but
you're
not
right.
the rest of them.
You're
They're
right.
not in position
The
for
Izako
it.
Boars, as soon as they got that finish, they went straight back to their
the
compound,
rest of them are trying to third party the fight between the Wizards and the other purple team to their east, whereas Teletubbies, they're I think they're doing the same thing actually, waiting for shots to break out but not firing until then. They hear the shots, they begin peeking, but these ridge lines are almost impossible to shoot over. Even Wizards, like I mentioned before, having almost perfect cover, the best cover they could have in the situation, which is pretty damn good. Ridge of the back, vehicle at the front. This would be a horrible spot, unplayable even. Without these cars.
Yeah, I love Wizards' positions. As far as Dicer and Eros, they've got the shack, they've got those dips, and then T-Bone and O'Connell are able to use their vehicles to basically make a fort out of nothing.
Yeah, so this is really, really nice. Even not getting third-party Teletubbies, they're hard peeking this angle that the Wizards are in, but they just can't quite find these knocks. That being said, Wizards cannot push. They don't actually know that Teletubbies are here. They're just being careful right now, but if they go for a push on this team, then it's gonna be the beginning of the end. And look at this, Mime I don't even know where Mime was, fragging Dicer, getting him in the back, got him in the shed. That was a long throw from Mime, and now they're one of the other teams. They're looking to, oh no, that's not a reaction to getting shot in the back. Yeah, like he's duking, man. Either way, probably dead. Either way, evasion though will be shot in the back by Izako Boars. Every single team in this game is fighting right now. Everyone's shooting each other. This is not going to be good for anyone besides Izako Boars, who have the win. But oh my god, the airburst right there almost killed Yuzo. Finished off evasion. Team Almost, they're scrambling. They're trying to find any cover that they can, but it might not be enough. Izako Boars, they smell the blood in the water. They want to break a record. They can smell that 20 kill game brewing, but they're not going to be going for it quite yet. Holding their ground, realizing that this open terrain just in front of them, not winnable. The next zone is. They're on the northeast edge. Everyone to the east side has to either fight each other or run into the Boars.
Yeah, this is the Boars game for sure, but they're gonna have to camp out several different teams from several different angles.
Teletubbies could make a miracle happen.
100%.
They're one of the only teams in this game that can decide what they want to do. They can move to the north in their ridges. They can hold their ground, try to work with Izako Boars on a gatekeep, and then eventually take the 3v4. But if I'm them, and I know Izako Boars is 4, I'm probably going to be focusing a little bit on the next zone, trying to find a spot that lets me even contest the first place, find a knock. But either way, Izako Boars, man, they're in such a good spot. And it's going to be Team Almost who's trying to finish this off. Mr. Do the MM sitting outside. Mine was looting.
They don't even know he's here. They wiped. It was Wizards. They wiped Wizards that were off to the south.
Teletubbies is fighting Almost. This is potential for do the MM to wipe almost.
Wipe him, yeah. Literally, if he chooses to third-party this, which he needs to try and pick up a kill. He's already got the placement points. He's in 4th place.
Speaking of need, actually, almost needs smoke. Mine running out in the open field. They did not use their time wisely here. They could have smoked that entire time if they had it. There's bodies that we saw them loot, so they had a couple of resources extra. And actually do the MM. Gonna be backing off a little bit, blue taking a little bit, making sure he doesn't get heard by almost. But Zako Boars is covering this. I don't
rip
know.
him.
Here it goes. He's very dead. He's very dead.
Nice attempt, and that's exactly why he should have just taken the chance on taking out Team Almost. He would have guaranteed
2 kill points, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. I'd say guaranteed 1, maybe 2, a potential squad wipe as well. And realistically, if the difference between 3rd and 4th is only 1 point, so
all right. Here we go. Almost. And Teletubbies sharing the southern half of the zone versus Team Almost. They're checking frags at each other, but the big threat here is going to be Zako Boars. They need to realize this and almost work together a little bit to take down the Boars, because right now they have easily...
Snip's going off to the flank, going towards the center of the circle. This is just this. It's on the west side where only one of the Zako Boars is looking. They're distracted by Mamik and
Come on, Snip. Here we have the underdogs. The underdog teams teaming up to try to take down the godly Zako Boars. They have been killing it this game, showing that even if a little bit of rough zones in game 1 is not going to deter them from showing up the next couple of games. With Snip mostly looking like he's just trying to wait for an off flank, waiting for Zako Boars to go for a potential flank around that west side and contesting that. But I think that with his teammates not quite in the zone, I'm not sure if Mamik and Ibis actually have a way in zone if they have cover, but if they don't, they're gonna want Snip to make a small distraction, I think.
Yeah, maybe get the initial knock and then some nades out. It would put Zako Boars on their heels, allowing the teammates to push
let's see the terrain right here, because it looks like that, for Teletubbies specifically, that they're actually able to wrap in the same way that Snip went.
Yep.
But they just die to frags if they get spotted. This is, like, really scary.
Yeah, the question is, does Boars have any more frags? I knew they threw a lot on it Almost. They threw a lot on the Panda team. And so their frags or overall utility might be a little low. They've got the smokes, of course.
Wait. What's Norgis doing? What is he doing? Norgis is just going in. Oh, okay.
Yeah, just dominating the central position. He is going to wrap up a little far. This might be overambitious. If Evas or Snip spot him out first, he is dead. But, yeah, he realized that he's going to go ahead and push back, get back to hard cover.
Yeah, as long as he stays next to this tree, then he can make sure he doesn't get shot, like, flanked too much. I think he did spot Tanaka. They have spots, that little backpack, that little head bobbling around the top of that ridgeline. They now know pretty much where everyone in this game is.
Yeah, and realistically, I think they probably even know the exact numbers, too. I think they spotted all 3 members out from...
And Norky is able to claim the center of the zone here. Yeah. That's pretty big. So as long as they can hold this, then all they gotta do is take down Almost and Teletubbies as soon as they break in. But looking over here, Ibis teasing a frag. He spotted him, but that's not what you want. That needs to go so much further.
That
jump at the end of it. That might be it. Oh, but it wasn't cooked. Oh.
If he cooks that 0.2 or 0.3 seconds, he's golden, and that blows up directly on top of Ghost Star and Norky's, taking down 2 of 4 of the members. That would have been huge. Smoke's coming out from Ghost Star, trying to give him some cover from that. Ooh, nice shots from Bruxel connecting to the head of Evis.
I didn't even hear those shots. Must be a suppressed scar. Now Ghost Star's...
Oh! He naded his own teammate!
No! Ibis!
We saw it in game 1 as well. He was cooking a nade, trying to get it up and over to connect with Boars, and the Boars just... got the perfect shot.
Burnt, man. That's burnt. Throw it in the trash can. That's not edible to anyone. No one wants to see that, especially not if you're a fan of Teletubbies or Teletubbies themselves. And now look at this team Almost. They're not in zone. They didn't find any knocks with their frags. They're trying to peek here, but they're already dead. They should just die of blue here, I think.
Yeah, I mean, they have no cover in front of them. I would get the res on Tanaka. Okay,
nah, too late. Yeah. The Zako Boars win that game with 13 kills. Quite frankly, I thought they would win that with like 17.
I was just about to say
and they're mad that they didn't win that. They lost 1 to the zone. They lost 3 to a friendly fire. And quite frankly, if they play their cards right, they can get every single one of those kills. Yeah. So they're feeling cheated right now.
Either way, coming out strong. 13 kills plus the 10 points for the win. So 23 points, and then they picked up 8 points from game 1 as well. just dominating. Over a 4-game series, you need these games right here. And granted, you could say, hey, Izaka Boris got favorite circle. But realistically, I mean, they pushed out towards Panda Team. They left that compound. And then they gate kept out every... If you're going to get centered circle, you have to make the most of it. And that's when you want to pick up kills left and right, camp out some rotations. And they played it phenomenally. I'm surprised they didn't end with like 17 kills.
Yeah, it's only because they got unlucky, right?
Yeah,
frankly.
exactly.
That's the only reason. All right, well, we're going to be going to our halftime break. This is looking to be a really weird survival Sunday, man. A lot of the top teams we're seeing right now are ones that have already qualified for the finale. So it's going to be weird at the end of round 4. Make sure you tune in to see who exactly makes it into the finale and under what weird circumstances. It's going to be a fun one. We're going to be going to the halftime break, though, going to the EU half. Get your popcorn, fill up your water. We'll be here when we get back. See you guys soon.
shooting a couple of downs on the side, but he sees some players in the open. Marcel getting a lot of damage on to one player, almost takes him down, does get the kill on the Dracovic, hiding the smoke as he begins being pushed on the right side, goes for the re-push on the side. I'm not sure if the smoke settings are what, but he just can't quite tell one player. Light firing all around is a little whirlwind of bullets as he's able to take girl power down. One player, let's say he's trying to buy times with his team to help him, hiding the side of the smoke and able to take down Mutant Gaming. Marcel, it's like I'm watching like a COD campaign right now. That was a sick play. He takes a lot of damage from Ivis on the retake as well, but there's so many players barely getting back into cover. But I think he got shot in the back by Marcelic from Bonzo team, who, while this fight is going on, Player One Esports did not finish this fight fast enough, and now they're getting third party by Bonzo, who are making magic. As I'm saying that, Teletubbies finishing the partner on this south side. Is able to take on by Winsy. This is looking to be their game. Oh my god, Snip was sneaking around from behind. I can't believe what's going on. He took on 3 players, tries to go for a flush in the 4th, but the zone coming in, he's gonna get all these kills. That's nuts for Teletubbies. Snip. Pulling them off. 2 players are able to go for a trade. Citropath and Co are going in. They need to make this happen right now. Citropath from behind. Corey leading the way, not getting any damage. The Molotov holding them off. That's so smart from him, because now Story and Citropath are doing literally nothing while Zane is holding off the other half of the Teletubbies. Citropath, oh my god, actually finding Mamek out of the building, going for a jump shot. Very stylish kill, but now he needs Grotto behind, giving him cover. Oh, weaving left, weaving right.
This is bad mannered right here.
Phobes didn't turn
Don't
around
stop moving, Phobes.
He needs it. He's even jumping around, getting in his car. The straight on start, and Phobes turned on him. Good job, Phobes. But
no, they killed Stolen Chroma.
Welcome back to the second half of the SSL. I'm a little fuzzy seal, as always, joined by Charity. What you just saw was the announcement of the SKS's return. If you've opened up the app at some point, then you would have noticed that it is indeed back. It has been back for 2 days or so. How that works is, as you saw, $675 on the line for this bi-weekly, once every other week tournament. Going to be hosting them on Vikendi. 4 rounds, top 5 gets in the prize money. And I think that's pretty much all the information. It's going to be NPL settings. It's going to be comp settings, which is actually, I felt weird doing that in duos, but I've seen other duos events, people are just like, there's no loot, what do I do? And I had to go back and forth on it for a while, because I do think that, like, you know, just duos loot, like maybe there's a logical difference of what it should be from squads and whatnot. But at the same time, I realized I really like the pacing of NPL loot. I really like the pacing of comp loot. And honestly, it was actually Apex that made me think of that. You're able to get like baseline kit pretty quickly.
Yep.
It was the game that had that, like, as its base loot, and I was just like, and that was the idea that really pushed me over, saying, all right, let's just give everything what they need early on, and actually have interesting stuff happen in the early game, with the difference between people dropping cities, getting kitted right away, or people dropping in the outskirts, having to take a little bit more time to loot. There's a lot more room for interesting things happening in Phase 1 with these loot, circle, and score settings with this version of comp.
I personally like the loot settings, just because, especially in duos, because with more teams being in play, granted, it's roughly the same amount of players, but almost double the teams. Mm-hmm. And so all of the dominant positions inside the center of the circle are going to get taken up so quick.
Yeah.
So if you want a chance to take something, you kind of have to be able to get your kit quickly. Otherwise, you're forced into playing at a severe disadvantage.
Vikendi's going to be really weird, though, because the thing with Vikendi, and duos in general, and Vikendi in particular, is that Well, when you're in squads, you try to control space.
Yeah.
You try to prevent people from doing things within a certain radius, depending on how good your spot is and how many players you have up.
Right.
In duos, that space you're trying to control is generally going to be smaller. And on Vikendi, it is also going to be reduced due to the sheer amount of hard cover.
Yep.
Now, a lot of that hard cover is very one-dimensional. Trees, rocks, very few ridges that prevent you from being flanked. Which means that if you get in a fight, you're probably going to want to decide right away if you're going to take it or run, because if you get in a prolonged fight, you're going to get shot in the back. That's just how it's going to work most of the time. But I do think that we're going to be seeing a lot of fast-paced combat due to the map, due to the game type, and due to the loot. It's going to be really, really fun to watch. And playing, I hope.
Realistically, just playing on Vikendi alone, I think you kind of need those amplified loot settings, and it's one thing if you're doing Miramar or Angle duos, but if we're gonna do Vikendi only, I think having that amplified loot's really nice, because I love the DMRs, I love the snipers, and Vikendi is so amazing for that. And so getting to see and spectate the top tier players get the loot they want,
it's gonna be very
snipe out
different.
on Vikendi. It is different.
It's gonna be very different.
Peak battles left and right. It leads for very interesting fights. And I will say this: every single circle ending that I've experienced in Vikendi is unique and it's fun. And it's not like an open field ending where it's like, okay, well, this person just got blessed pretty much and they're the only cover in, because there's so much cover and it allows teams to play just honestly just
even today there's a couple of times in game 1 where Panda Team was just like, all right, how do they lose? I was theorycrafting okay, if they get a knock and
exactly
Crumsy helps them out, there's a lot of stuff that needed to happen for Panda Team to lose there. And honestly, in Vikendi, I think it's gonna be a lot harder, like you were saying, to just easily tell all right, this team's obviously in the lead because it's duos, because it's Vikendi. And by the way, I actually do have our list of teams that have qualified. Actually, I have a list right here. So, for qualifying in week 1, it is Bottle Riders and Lil Cromsies, or Cromsies, I don't really know. So, I thought this was the Guardsmen. So, the Guardsmen are actually not qualified right now.
Oh.
I was actually mistaken about that.
They're doing pretty good
They're
today.
doing dang well. I really hope they'll be seeing more of them in the future, because I think that are only strongly performing NA team right now. I don't remember how Team Almost has been doing, but they've been dying a lot in the mid to late game push. They got third place.
Yeah, as I said, they had a good game last
now.
game. Second place.
Yeah, and that brought them up to actually 4th place. Look at me, I'm wrong. Actually, NA holding hands here as the Guardsmen and Team Almost are sitting side by side, but with the Zako Boars having a humongous lead, that 13-kill win in their 8-kill game, and enough to rocket them into 1st place with a 10-point, a 1st place lead is what separates here. That being said, to continue the list, we have Bottle Riders, Lil Cromsies, Team Almost, Rarity, Bonzo Team, Zako Boars, Teletubbies, Zwitap, PLAYERUNKNOWN'S Esports Latin America, and free agents that have qualified. So if we're looking at this list right
Panda
now.
Team and Guardsmen.
Yeah, that's what we're looking at. Those are the 2 teams that are
Wizards.
Yeah, them and Wizards. Those are the teams that aren't on the list are the ones that we're really, really looking at today to see, will they qualify? Will they make it into the finale, or rather, which one? At this point, if Teletubbies rocket in, we might be seeing actually 4th and 5th place going to the finale teams. And that would be really, really weird to see. But either way, you got to note that you can still win cash here. So Zako Boards is still looking for that $400 bounty.
100%.
Everyone's still looking to see what they can get done. So we'll be seeing exactly who makes it in by the end here. Let's look at these teams now, though, and let's have you place your bet. Because right now, I'm going to go with my NA pride. I think that Guardsmen are doing very well. But they haven't caught much screen time. They've almost always made it from the mid game to the late game with half their players in really, really weird spots. But they've also outshot people a lot in very surprising ways. I think that they're going to maintain their mid to high kill count consistency, but I don't think we'll see them win. I do think that'll be enough for them to get in the finale, though.
It's fair. I mean, I'm saying this after seeing the leaderboards as well as the first 2 games, but I'm going with the Zako Boars for the day, man. They are absolutely tearing it up. They played phenomenal in game 1. They played phenomenal in game 2. And so, realistically, if they have two games that are anywhere near those same points, they're looking at a 1st place.
All right, that's the easy choice to
That's
make.
the easy choice.
But
Okay,
who do you think is going to qualify?
out of the
finale?
qualifying teams?
Yeah.
Ooh. I'm gonna go with Wizards.
Wizards.
I'm gonna go with Wizards. Yeah,
I like it.
They did well with game 1. They got into the placement points game 2. Unfortunately, they weren't able to supplement it with any kills. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Wizards mainly because I don't want to pick the same as you, and I think Guardsman's a solid choice.
Yeah. I do think that the Wizards will potentially drop out. I honestly think of the 3 teams that we're looking at, that they're probably the least likely to make their way into the finale due to their very inconsistent rotations. Yeah.
That's fair.
If I had to call a team having YOLO rotations, it would absolutely be Wizards. Like, they just sent it to center compound in game 1, and they got away with it.
That's
it was
fair.
literally getting away with murder. They got lucky in the fight after that. I don't remember. Actually, no, they did play very good in Miramar, actually. They played very good on Miramar. Played very, very smart, actually. So
They just got pinched, unfortunately.
they got pinched, but like I was saying, they made the worst out of a really bad situation. That wasn't
made the
really
worst
their
out
fault.
of-
They made the best. They made the best. They made the best out of like one of the worst situations. My bad. Excuse me. So I really do like what they've shown us so far, specifically on Miramar.
I like cheering for the underdogs, though, so
enough.
I'll take that and run with it. I want to see you step it up here, Wizards, and dominate Game 3. Come out with a win with 14 kills, highest kill of the
That's
day.
very specific.
Yeah, very. I want 14 kills. And
What if they get 15?
I would be disappointed. You know what? They failed me. But speaking of disappointment, this flight plan, man, it's the worst of the day. This isn't typical. Like you said, Survival Sunday League usually gets pretty favorable playing paths. This isn't bad by any means. It does open up a lot of territory, but it is favoring more towards the east side.
Whenever
and the
this
West Coast is pretty off
happens,
limits.
people always drop farm because no one goes farm, right? Yes, people do. So it will be 2 teams contested for that garbage loot.
3 and Yaz.
Yes, that is
Yes.
correct. We do have Blastronaut who's looking for a car, and I actually like this play here. His team in the apartment, if he can get past these walls, his team loses the apartment and gets out of dodge. Don't take
I like
anything
it.
else. Other team on the east, more loot. Team in the northwest, Wizards.
Wizards have pretty
Everything
much
to
everything.
themselves. Yeah, they're going to be the best loot, the most efficient loot, and Dicer's going somewhere. I don't actually know. Okay, he's actually looting the apartment, which I hate this decision because apartments are the least efficient loot in the game. If you don't know what other people dropped, besides you know they're not in these apartments, it makes more sense. But the fact that someone would willingly choose this place to loot just boggles my mind.
Ooh, we do have a military circle and only 1 team on Military Island. The previous circles we saw, Miramar, there was like half of the teams that dropped were already in circle. Game 1 on Erangel, there was the majority of the teams were in circle. Now there's only 1 team that's effectively safe inside the circle. We do have some along the north side of it, but realistically, they're all going to have to cross over, and that's not going to be easy. I mean, Wizards here, they got Yaz, the majority of Yaz to themselves, but with that Military Island, they're going to have to be rotating along both of these teams as well as several other teams. Like we saw 2 up towards Stalberg, Kameshki area. We saw 2 up towards Severny. They're literally going to have to rotate across the entire map to make it to safety. And that's not an easy thing to do, especially considering you're going to be late on your boats. You're not going to be able to cross over the bridge unless you wait it out super late and come in through the blue, which is a possibility because with the increased loot settings, they're likely going to be able to get enough meds, but it's still going to be a damn near impossible push, and it's going to take some maneuvering to be able to accomplish it.
Yeah, and we'll be seeing if they can actually make it in. Specifically, the team on Military Island, we haven't seen much of them besides specifically Mishladen.
Yeah.
In Game 1. I actually don't even remember the name of this team, frankly. I really hope that we can see some of them come out today. That being said, they're certainly taking their sweet time. And actually, at this point, Godlike Gamer, they're not going to be... No, actually, no. This is Yaz, excuse me. They're actually not going to be able to camp the bridge with Mooney already being here. Meanwhile, Mooney from the Guardsmen...
Already across.
He's across already. He's waiting for the bridge camp. He's put himself in a position to be here. Not much kit, but you don't...
Here's his teammate.
Hold your fire there,
Don't
buddy.
shoot there. The 2 teammates are still across the bridge, so they honestly, I think they need to kit up themselves as quick as possible and then make that same rotation that Chroma and Mooney have done, because the earlier they do it, the better, and then they're going to be able to gatekeep that entire East Coast bridge.
And that's how you get kills. That's
Yep.
a good way to get some early placement points for that team. That being said, at this point, I think that everyone will predict that this spot is taken.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people that drop so far north. Like, the only team that can predict going for this is Gav or Ahmet and the rest of his team in purple. Like, everyone else, I think, is going to be so late that they're saying, okay, this is obviously going to be camped. They might not get as many kills as they would like from this. It's still a good spot to be.
Yeah, we see Panda Team taking over a central location. Honestly, I love the school apps drop. It's almost dead center of the map. You're going to be able to get fully kitted.
The polar
and
ice
typically,
drop.
yeah, typically you're going to be inside the zone. Unfortunate for them and pretty much every other team in the lobby, it's a military island this game, or a military circle this game. So we'll see how they play it.
Winnie on M in the teal, the blue also claiming his team spot in the far west side. He is not exactly protecting them from a bridge camp. If he was doing that, he'd probably be on the other side of the bridge on the firehouse. That's the most common camping spot. But they're just kind of hoping to be faster. Although we do see Venus going to the far east. I actually don't like this. It looks like that they're just not really playing together as far as information goes. Like whatever these two players, Skazka and Venus, figure out is not going to be relevant to the other two players. I just don't think it's a very good use of their time. Hopefully they'll be able to get across okay though.
Yeah, maybe if Venus could grab a boat and that takes one boat.
Fat alliteration.
Well, if he's able to snag a boat away from a potential team that might take it later.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's actually kind of smart in my opinion, and forces teams to have to either swim across or
I'm not gonna lie, I
bridge.
forgot boats existed.
Yeah, it's smart. And look at this. There's one other boat that I see, two boats maybe.
Ooh, and if
they're by a common bridge camp spot.
Yeah,
so
and Hofkid's gonna claim these. This is actually a really good spot for this team. They showed up a little bit late, and quite frankly, this is one of the teams that I was looking at for maybe they're gonna be in trouble if they move across this bridge. But now they have even less reason to move across the bridge. Yep. Having two boats, they're in a bridge camp position themselves. They have a zero incentive to cross that bridge on foot or in their vehicles.
I'm not gonna lie, I love that play from Venus. I absolutely love it. It was a little risky, but keeping one boat away whenever there's only three on that entire line, you just took away 30%
It didn't end
of
up
the
being
boat
relevant
spots.
because this team was able to cross the bridge safely.
Yeah, well, I
mean,
mean,
it's still smart.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the thing is now he's able to gatekeep that, and he's going to bring the boat over to the island, and now that bridge camp just became a little bit more efficient.
Although,
oh, we do see some swimmers coming
they're
up,
just
though.
swimming.
Panda Team ramping off. If you're going to have to swim across, this is
First
definitely
blood.
the best way to
do it.
it.
Second blood. Oh no, people dying to
It was a bike, I'm guessing.
Maybe he just pressed F too early. Norkies, excuse me. Norkies did begin shooting. Could have been a panic F, but that will be half the team from Seek Org. I think that they used to be Seek last, but now they are Seek Org. Will be going down here. Izako Blores getting themselves an injection of loot, which they will certainly want considering they have, let's count kilometers, kids. 1, 2, 3.5 kilometers to go to get the zone.
Look at Team Almost, though. 2 people on each one of the bridges that Izaka Boars will have to drive across.
Oh, no.
This is actually very high IQ. Izaka Boars will likely not expect someone to be camping these bridges because it's so far away from the circle. Why would you expect Team Almost to come up here?
This is so weird from them as well.
I love it.
Team Almost, they couldn't do it this game, which is obviously why they're like going off their playbook. But they don't like camping rotates early. They don't like not being in the zone in phase 1 and 2. But they've been forced to make the best of the bad situation. Look at this. Ryozan is trying to find Marcelik. He heard the bike roll up, and Marcelik looking for a fight as well. Kill from UC Marcelik is able to win that fight, as he is wont to do.
There was 2 people on the motorcycle. I thought it was just one, so them pulling up on that
2v1.
is a little bit safer. When he initially pulled up, I thought it was just going to be a 1v1. I was like, oh my goodness.
Wait, look at the kill. Oh no, look at the map. Team Almost not willing to go for the blue tank, and they actually lost out on 2 different camps.
Yep. That would have been huge. That would have been a lot of points into him because realistically, like, they would have drove straight at him, no fear. They didn't scout across the bridge, and even if they did, there's positions that Team Almost could have hid from the line of sight. We do see some contention for the boats on the east coast.
Oh boy.
Between the 2 red teams.
Invicta and Deranged. It looks like they will be seeing them as Modius will. But,
oh, no.
Big carport. But, taking a lot of damage. God, the canted sight is worthless. It actually gets shot under the wheels, and that actually might have been the death of him. Double lung, in the open, but barely finding a little chest-high wall on the far right. Maddie went for a car crash, and the teammate actually, is Latixa went for a car crash, won it, but got shot in the back by double lung. Steiner now trying to find this frag. It could work out if he cooks it properly.
Looks good.
Not quite cooked it up, but a headshot will do it easy enough. So I'm not built out for this whole throwing thing, but I am cut out for this whole shooting thing. Might be able to save his teammates, but as I say that, the backup coming in to make her hairspray, coming over the hill, cresting over Steiner, wondering where the rest of his team is, and that's where the rest of that team is, coming in from the hill. Hairspray establishing herself on the flank, seeing that little head pop up, blowing it off, now will be able to get the res on at least one of their teammates as the zone continues to be kind of nicely teams on the north side. Another fight happening in the blue, however, as Blastraut witnessing his friends all die in front of him. Using some smoke grenades to try and keep his teammates safe, but the suppressing fire, the volume of fire coming out from Bonzo team is going to be too much for them as the downs go out. He gets tagged quite a bit as well as he is pinched between Rocky Cutie, the down player, and one who's getting the res on the west, and Rashku on the northeast, who is alone at low HP. One headshot is all it could take to take him down, but Blastraut is having a very, very hard time to actually find that shot.
Yeah, he's got the K9. I think he needs to isolate this guy on the north, Rajku. If he's able to get that knock on a Raj, it makes this so much easier for him. But as soon as those smokes dissipate, he now has two. And there it is. Yeah, I was about to say, the second those smokes go down, he is in a terrible position. If he had maybe gotten a headshot with the K9 onto Raj, could work out.
Wizards are sending it. They are hoping that they are at a point in the game where this is not being camped. However, they are also taking their time, scouting across, and actually sent arrows. Scouting and defending while Dicer and Co send it, so making sure that even if the bridge itself is being camped, they won't get taken down from that. We do see the campers in question, Hofkid and Co, on the right side in that hill, so it is a very, 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 very soft bridge camp. The Wizards should be able to get out of this okay, unless they exactly peel right here.
And that's typically the path you do. When you come across this bridge, this is right where you go.
Oh no, the Wizards! Oh, and they even pull up. They're dead. They're already dead. They don't even know it yet. And even the car detonating, losing those players. Actually, T-Bone veering off the right here. Very, very
both of them are in there.
Decision. They're both these players in this car. I'm surprised they both didn't get shot up there. They probably should just stay on the road. That was a little bit of a risky play from them, but they will be able to get out okay. And in a spot where, we saw in the first game how strong concealment and grass can be, they found themselves in what is probably going to be the end game for this game. So they just gotta channel their inner 6mo, snake into the end game, and maybe at that point they can get some points, maybe even find a kill or two in the process.
Attila from Equilibrium is pushing up to the top of the hill there. This is where Wizards are likely looking to go. Attila might spot him out, and he does have 3 teammates off to the south to support him, whereas Wizards, like we just saw, they're down to 2. So Wizards, they do need to channel their inner snake here and not be spotted.
I wouldn't want Wizards to take the spot. I don't think the Wizards should be looking for high ground or popular spots. They should be looking for weird spots right now and trying to sneak their way in. I don't think there's a 2-man. You want to do this because if there's only 2 people shooting at you, and they're in this spot, that's an easy fight for a foreman to take at that point. Pulling up in the buggy, so Wizards do have this information, and they actually looking this way. They stop moving. They potentially are looking for this fight.
Yeah, I mean, if they get the initial knock, it wouldn't be the necessarily worst thing, but at the same time, this is not a good position to put themselves in. This is a
horrible spot. T-Bone did not have to do this, I feel.
If he prones here and just waits, though, it could potentially be a decent
spot.
Oh, yeah,
because Equilibrium's covering you.
Yeah, it's kind of like you're just hiding out in the open, and then you use Equilibrium to your advantage. Dicer's up to his north, not entirely sure what position he's playing, but if
I'd like to see Dicer just leave.
Yeah, realistically, that's what I would do. If you're down to a 2-man and there's still 50 alive, you kind of double down and potentially, going for a kill, getting some kill points, not a bad idea, but I think doubling down is just maybe a safer option.
Well, it looks like they're still trying to figure out exactly what they should do. The new zone did pop. Once again, a hard shift to the north side, still keeping a little bit of that Northern Island in play, which Team Almost will be playing. But be seeing a fight between them and Team Bonzo team here coming out soon, as well as on the far west side, Zako Boris playing the far west against Seek Org. Brooksville getting very frustrated at this 3x scope. Norky's down already. Morpheus low HP. These both providing some invaluable cover in this engagement. Ghostar using smokes to cover himself as he chucks frags behind the hard cover of this team. They're not quite far enough meters away from what they had to be for what could have been a very destructive frag. However, Zakobor is still in the advantage. They have 4 players up against the 2 of Seek Org, and they have the high ground advantage, which, as we all know from our Star Wars lore, very good spot to be. They're trying to find these shots as well. Brooksville finding a couple of body shots, but mostly with the smoke being in play is only going to be suppression. Finding a frag himself, quite frankly, this is almost impossible for Seek Org to win.
Yeah, realistically, they have to push out in the open with Azaka
blue
Boris
as
looking
well.
at it. It's just not in their favor at all. But Azaka Boris, they need to finish this fight quick because their next rotation in is somewhat similar, especially with the light blue team off in the distance.
Yeah, this is really bad for them, though. Orion Prime controlling both the high ground as well as both sides of the road. I think that with the Zaka Boys, you know, they get 4 kills, they get whatever they want out of this fight, and then they just die, I think. I'm not sure they can survive this.
Well, I mean, they're picking up kill points, which is important, and it looks like Orion Prime, they're splitting their attention. They have 2 guys off to the east focusing on the south and 2 guys off to the west focusing towards the west.
Oh, see it double on. Oh, okay. Oh, no, the zone's going to get him.
Yeah, this isn't this is an even harder push. Double Lung having to swim out in the open, I probably would just give up the points or try to wait it out. He's not going to be able to med at all because he's swimming, and so simple from our Lyran just going to be able to get this free kill. There it is.
Offering it up right there, allowing it Simply Simple to get that kill. Bonzo trying to make their way across this bridge as well. Offering up, or rather asking the question to Gavir Ahmet, how long are you willing to blue tank? Hopefully they have the meds for that. But look over here, Bonzo team in a fight now as Shazka finds a player in the open. This is what I was talking about. The terrain, the cover that Azako Boars have to work with is practically non-existent from almost every single angle. In fact, this was pretty much the only play they had. If they go west across the road, then easily taken down by Winnie on that high ground. All they could really do in this situation was hope that this area wasn't being watched, take the low ground, but as it turns out, it was. And they were pretty much going to get demolished, taken out of this game, but with 5 kills, putting them up to 36 points.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to be eliminated early outside of the placement points, picking up 4 or 5 kills, that's a good game. I would consider that a success.
4 or 5 kills with an awkward as hell military zone.
Exactly.
Sure.
Exactly. We do have, like I said, if you're going to cross over the bridge, doing it like Bonzo team just did, where you send it late and you're phase 4, you're tanking blue, and that's when you're going to drive across. That's how you want to cross over bridges late.
Oh, even despite not being ready for it, Bonzo getting a lot of work done. Even look at that. That zone did so much damage actually to them.
Yeah.
They only had to hit, simply needed to hit like 1 or 2 shots in each individual player. So maybe a little bit too late.
Guardsman, 3 members down already, leaving just Mooney up. Mooney is not in a great position himself, able to hide behind the buggy, but that's it. He is getting shot over the buggy's gonna roll over.
Okay. It denied the res. It rolled away. His cover went away. So that is the Guardsman out in 10th place, one of the top teams to look at getting a slot here, and Panda Team is as well. So huge props to Panda Team for taking down one of their top contenders here in the mid game, out of the money, out of the points. Excuse me. Looking over here though, Mime taken down while crossing the road. This is another thing that Team Mobile say they do a lot, and I'm beginning to see it have problems, where Evasion says that he and Mime kind of feel like they can do whatever they want with the anchor that is Yuso and Tanaka, but Mime probably did whatever he wanted a little bit too much there, running into the entire 4-man team of Lime and the rest of Chocolate Thunder.
Yeah, we do have Wizards running directly into Equilibrium. Equilibrium able to pass up Wizards and take the inside position in the circle. I don't think Equilibrium realized that Wizards are here, especially with Hofkid and friends up to their north. Yeah, this could be Wizards' potential push in and third party
of Equilibrium.
Yeah.
We'll be seeing if that can actually happen here. Looks like that Hofkid and co are willing to take this fight. Mr. Do the MM not quite in zone. Attila moving for a flank, might be able to spot him soon. So both players setting up in very similar ways, but Equilibrium having the awkward side of the low ground that might make it hard to exactly see exactly what Simply Simple is up to. And actually Attila, who went on that flank, did not spot the even wider flank of Mr. Do the MM until now, spotting him out, but Gavir Ahmet right in front of him, and probably hear that foot's up on him and saying, okay, there's way too much stuff going on now, backing up, giving Simply Simple that terrain. A lot of stuff happened very, very quickly there, but what this means is that Equilibrium, after losing good ground, will now be pushing directly into Wizards. And honestly, I don't know if Wizards really want this. I feel like they want to start shooting once the fight has already started.
Yeah, I mean, if they see the kill feed light up and they realize those shots are connected to the kill feed, that could be their chance to push. We do see some shots coming out, not able to connect the head shot, but the King does. Oh, that's off in the distance.
Not quite yet. Balzac and J5 not quite in position. SKZ kind of alone here as he's dodging frags left and right, repositioning himself for a flank. This could be pretty big here as Zlyron is not in position. That being said, J5 losing his fight to Tilla at very, very low HP as well, and Wizards creeping ever so closer to Balzac in the back line. They might find themselves getting shot in the back here very, very soon. Dicer and T-Bone sneaking into Tilla, and Balzac are none the wiser. But at this point, it looks like Wizards are trying to look for something better, whether it be placement points or a full squad wipe. Maybe even hoping these two teams eat each other a little bit more so they can have claim over the entire east side of the zone.
Yeah, and the circle does shift off these three teams here, and so they realize that and they kind of disengage from the fight. And
This was such an interesting fight.
Yeah.
Like the way that Equilibrium positioned themselves, like realizing
no knocks coming out.
Like no knocks, realizing that, okay, this guy's flanking me on the right, I hear footsteps, we need to back off to this spot, holding their ground, and both teams said, like, crap, we can't flank him. We can't find these knocks, our frags didn't do anything, so I guess we just had to walk away, and that is going to lead to a very, very big boiling point full of four-man teams. Equilibrium running right into Aim from Poland, who was getting shot in the side by Teletubbies. Balzac finding the third party, getting the down onto Smoke X. They need to finish these kills off, or else they're going to get third party by Teletubbies. Trying to find him, but spotting out Mike Beats instead of the far right. Balzac finding a great AK spray. Actually, that was Mammoth just blowing his head off with the SLR, but Balzac suppressed him, gosh darn it. One player left up, I believe, on Aim from Poland is the survivor, Mishladen, who has, ooh, that was a little scary there, jumping off that hill. Might be able to find him soon, but Mishladen has not been spotted, using the foliage of the tree on the side of the hill as cover and concealment to make sure that the Wizards and Equilibrium don't spot him.
Mishladen's position is actually really nice. This tree, the branches actually like push into the hillside, and so you can effectively, like, it's like a bush. You're just hiding in plain sight, but at the same time, you're covered by foliage on all sides.
Wizards might be forced into a fight here soon as well, which could allow Mishladen to, you know, we keep like going down in tiers of how snaky you are. Like we've been watching the two-man snake, but Mishladen, once again, all of his friends are dead, trying to survive as long as he can. The survival instinct from this player is off the charts, able to survive for so long.
Oh, no.
Looking at the zone as well, so many four-man teams left up. This is actually pretty nuts. The south side, especially, a hotbed of action, as in the north side, we had one team that controlling like the entire northern half of the zone.
Wizards finally get spotted out, but it's not by Equilibrium, but Mishladen tries to steal some kills as well, alerting the teams that are surrounding him as to where he's at. Now Dicer's trying to wrap around. Lyron gets caught out on a package as well.
Dicer barely able to stay alive here, but I think that he's going to be okay, because if we all look off to the west, we do have Equilibrium cleaning up this Mishladen, one more placement point for the Wizards, as well as getting in potentially a big fight between them and Teletubbies. An initial spray from J5 will send one player off packing, backing off for a res, but we do see in the kill feed that Balzac spotting out Dicer. Good game sense there to know that he was coming in from the rear. Just making sure you're not going to get flanked from the back. Kleiman, however, and Teletubbies are still alive, and that's their main issue. Teletubbies have the high ground. They have a better spot right here, but both these teams' spots are not in the zone. One team is dead, that's going to be okay, which means that this fight is pretty much going to happen unless Equilibrium back off, which they're trying to do, but Teletubbies is putting out too much pressure. Equilibrium getting to find hard cover. Sniff not quite finding these shots. A frag might do it, but that is going to be way off. Ibis, though, will have better luck finding one with Attila, but it will not be without a trade as Snip goes down as well. Mammoth trying to find this shot, will be able to land one. Oh, he sees that backpack, the AK peeking off of it, but what? Be able to find it. Stun going out, not going to do too much. He was behind a tree as well, as there's no push potential.
Yeah, I was going to say, that nade looked amazing. Bounced off the hill, rolled it down, curved directly into the last member from Equilibrium.
Speaking of incredible, this push from Team Almost is very, very incredulous, rather, as they use a ton of smoke grenades trying to cross this road, but it looks like it wasn't quite enough for everyone except for Tanaka, who's able to sneak in another building on the far east side, might be able to sneak up this hill, but with Teletubbies coming in from the southeast side, they realize what they have claim over. They heard this fight happen, and even Tanaka getting spotted out. I don't blame him for going that. That was pretty much his only play to get further in this game.
That's 10 kills for the purple team. Mr. Do the M. And I believe that was Lyron as well. Lyron had 5 kills already. We did see Lyron go down to a crate. Unfortunately, got a little too greedy there. But now we're down to our top 5 teams.
And a team, man, they're doing it. They want that placement into the finale, and they're showing us that they might even be able to earn it, as well as we do have them in a fight breaking between them and Orion Prime. Panda team having the strategic high ground position here. Skazka going to be very, very difficult for him to move. NSG King spotting him out, but will not be able to find any more shots. The 3x scope not doing him too many favors here, and a lot of smoke grenades coupled with the concealment of these trees is going to make it very, very hard for Panda team to consistently find these shots. However, that being said, they are not overcommitting on this gatekeep. They realize they could get pushed from their East Panda team, so they will just be kind of pulling their ground, keeping this compound, and only be pushing out when they have to. And this is normal Panda team behavior, and which is why they're almost never going to have an insanely high kill game, but they're almost always going to make it as a contender in that end game as a first place team.
Yeah, I mean, we saw them ramp off the cliffside and make the swim across early. They didn't even look for boats. That was their game plan from the start, and it ended up paying off really well for them, able to secure a centralized compound, top of the hill. Yeah, timing was great. We'll see if this circle is once again favorable to them.
It might not be. I think that zones like this end up going like north. Yeah, and it loves these roads. It doesn't like keeping these compounds, these big old hills in play. So this will essentially force a fight between Panda team and Orion, or Panda team and Teletubbies. I like their odds against Orion, but the position on that side of the zone is worse. They're probably going to be pushing east with that in mind. Look over here, Chocolate Thunder have the only hardcover in the zone. They should be able to stay here for a while and contest Orion Prime on their movement. We see that one player peeking around, looking left, looking right without a helmet. Actually, if he didn't have a helmet, he would have died. But either way, a great shot from Soldado. Keeping one player down and out, going for a heal, and actually getting shot on the side by Longest Line, playing the off angle. It looks like after a very, very quiet game for Chocolate Thunder, they're looking to explode out here for a lot of kills, moving out, taking control of the zone, despite having some of the only hard cover in it.
I mean, they effectively are controlling over half the zone. That entire northeast or northern side is theirs. And we'll see how the purple team off to the southeast is able to push in.
They're not going to be able to. Teletubbies fighting him, using that high ground advantage. Panda team hearing that as well, and Panda team still trying to find out exactly how they want to play this, but Teletubbies know exactly what they want to do, pushing into Amik or Amzi and getting him down very, very low. He's going to be trying to smoke his way out of here, but the damage might already be done. And look here at the end game, 3 4-man teams left up, and honestly, right now, Chocolate Thunder don't need to do a dang thing.
Yep.
Teletubbies and Panda team are almost going to be forced into each other, mostly due to the play style of Panda team. Teletubbies need to push into this, or else they're going to get third-partied right now. We're seeing him play aggressive into D-Wad, who's waiting to play, maybe for audio, maybe for a peek, or maybe just waiting for the zone to reduce the number of things that people have to peek from.
Yeah, I mean, D-Wad on that off angle is a good play, especially with Mammoth looking to try to get that flank.
Into zone. Does he see Snip going for the jump peeks? I can see him on his screen, and yep, there it is. Spots him out, stops making noise, stops crawling around, waiting for potentially another jump peek, but his teammates will begin lighting some fire onto Kleinman. But oh, didn't see him from the grass. The blade of grass snapped to his head. 2 players are very, very low, but now Ibis and Mammoth trying to push into...
They're getting third party.
The only thing that saved Amik, though, was the third party, but it will be a couple of frags from Magistrate, which really gets this fight rolling. A long spray of rounds that Mammoth will push him back on the hill. No downs here, but the damage has already been done as Teletubbies are reeling and about to break as they're retreating back east and back down the hill. And this makes a lot of sense as we see in the next zone, as they need to go north. And right now, with one player trapped and another one dead, they're not going to be able to win this fight very easily against Panda team.
Yeah, realistically, these 2 teams on the south need to fight each other and try to pick up these points, because the team in the North, Chocolate Thunder, this is their game. Circle does shift to him. There's a little bit of hard cover that the Southern team can play, but...
he executed, man. He lined up that headshot, had no idea it was coming, Snip didn't, and then just took him out. Now, 4v2, favor of Panda team. They do not want Teletubbies to be alive in this last zone. They can win a 4v4 against Chocolate. They cannot win a 4v6. Dewad, though, on his own, goes for a quick peek, gets the control barely. Ibis is not able to take him down and proning under the ridge, allowing his teammates to cover him while he gets the heal. NSG almost taking him down, pushing over the ridge, pre-firing the grass. Penta team does it. Chocolate Thunder, however, not quite in position to gatekeep this. They're going for it right now. Lime way ahead of his teammates, tricking a couple of frags over the hill. He needs to get his team in position right now if he wants to keep Penta team out.
Yeah, if he gets an initial knock, this is huge because there's only 3 members of the Panda team. The shots coming out, connecting on
there it is.
King. Now it's 2v4. D-Wad and Ams at the top of the hill. Chocolate Thunder pushing in close.
Oh!
The return shot's coming out, and that's
Trade after trade,
Yeah,
too many trades, no cover. Good play from Chocolate Thunder, just sitting in their compound saying, all right, well, we got it, we might as well keep it, and getting themselves a very, very conservative 5-kill win, 15 points to their name. But the most interesting thing, I think, about that game was what happened under this team. So we're looking at the scoreboard right now. Panda team able to finish that game with 10 kills, Teletubbies with 11 as well. Meanwhile, the Guardsmen dying relatively early that game. Those are the 3 teams we're really looking at as contenders for the finalist slot. So Guardsmen are going to be sinking down. I think they went into either this game or game 2 tied with Panda team. So they need to have an explosive game 4 if they're going to come back into this one, the Guardsmen.
Yeah, and what an ending. I mean, again, with the Military Island threw so many teams off. There was only one team that went and looted Military Island. And the previous Erangel game, we saw 3.
What happened to that team? Because they were, I don't remember them in the. Oh yeah,
they
got
had to push
moving.
up out of military.
Stayed in Millie
base
pretty much the entire game.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate that it shifted up north of them instead of south. It's kind of the same situation that we saw at Zaka Borsen. They just had to push through an opening that, you know, unless you have 10 smokes or you get the initial 2 knocks, that's
they even got pinched
such a
between
hard push.
2 very effective teams. You know, shot in the back by one, shot in the back by the other. Once you start fighting the other team and realizing, oh, we're just dead. Okay, sorry.
Yep.
Still some good survival instinct being showed by. Oh man, what was his name? Michelin, yeah. Able to stay alive once again.
He did pull the trigger at one point trying to get a finish on a down, and I think that gave his position away, and he had a team up to his north, a team off to his west, and then he was dead within like 20 seconds.
Yeah.
So I think if you're going to play the solo snake game, and granted, we kind of talked about this in the past, like if you're a solo and there's 40 plus people up, you might want to try to get that point, because if you end up dying, it's 0 points, and you're likely not going to make it.
It's like we saw with the
top.
Wizards.
Yep.
They got demolished. They got nothing done from that. Actually, that's another team that we were talking about.
They could have third-partied.
They could have third-partied. They could have taken a fight at any point in time. They're onto Equilibrium, and sure, Teletubbies wrecks their world after that if they do that. But at the same time, 1 kill, maybe 2, while they're fighting either Simply Simple in the far east, Teletubbies in the far west. They had a couple opportunities, and every single time they decided that, no, we're going to sneak in instead.
It's kind of funny, they followed in on Equilibrium's coattail for like 15 minutes, and then it wasn't even Equilibrium that caught him out. It was Teletubbies.
It was? I didn't actually catch that.
Yeah, so Teletubbies, I think, picked up both of the kills, but yeah, Equilibrium and Wizards, they were within 100, 150 meters of each other for the majority of the game for both of those teams, and so it's interesting to see. Yeah, Teletubbies coming out pretty strong though with that positioning, having to push up to the top of the hill, and they wiped out multiple squads, and then they controlled the southeast side. And Panda team basically did the exact same. Panda team didn't have to do as many pushes because they did the initial push early enough to where they avoided a lot of the confrontation.
Yeah.
And they took a very, very good position, top of the hill at the yellow buildings. And so
but they're so patient. If I was in that spot, I would be so antsy. Like, what if a team comes in from my east? I can't really cover my south from here that well. Cover the north and the west pretty well. But they played it conservatively enough so that, like, if they push north and there's a team to their south and their east, they're just dead.
Yep.
But they were to hold their ground, make sure that even though 3 players saw a team to the north, still keep 1 back, still keep 1, watching your flanks, make sure that you don't overcommit to anything, and that's what got them that second place.
Speaking of patience, our team almost, if they had just a little bit more patience, I think they finished the game with, it was like 0 or 1 kills, but they made it in the placement points, so they got 1 or 2 points. But had they waited another 20 seconds, they would have had not only Izaka Bors crossing the bridge unknowingly, but another team.
I think it was. I don't know if it was deranged, actually.
Either way, 2 different teams crossing their bridges, and they had such a good camp going. I was excited to see it actually be implemented. But unfortunately, as soon as the blue hit them, they're like, you know what, guys?
That's not lack of research comes into play, man. Where it's like they don't know how teams normally play coming in from Georgia. Like, do they blue tank? Like, where do they normally leave? In what conditions? Like, they weren't working with much intel as to what was going on inside Georgia, and they weren't working with intel on what teams usually do in Georgia if it goes millie. Like, that seems like a very specific thing to, like, ask for. Like, oh, you don't know what the team does usually if a team goes Georgia, and then the zones millie. Like, that's a very specific thing to research, I think.
Definitely. And I mean, realistically, here we go. We're going to jump over to the leaderboards a lot closer than I had expected personally. Panda team, 37 points, coming out really strong. 10 kills in game 3, 2 kills in game 2, but the 6 points are sixth place. And so overall, securing a lot of points. And then game 1, of course, with the 17 points. Coming in first. Izaka Boars closely behind, even though they went out in 12th last game. They had the 4 kills to supplement it, and then 10th place on the first game, but had 8 kills. And so they're sitting at 35, and then closely behind them, Teletubbies. And, of course, Simply Simple and Chocolate Thunder, Guardsmen, Team Almost. These leaderboards are really close. If any team, I'd say within the top 8. If you're in the top 8 and you come out strong with a good win, a 10-kill win plus the 10 points, you know, you could jettison yourself up to first place as long as Panda Team and Friends do bad.
It's going to be hard to get past Panda Team.
Oh, yeah.
Izaka Boars and Teletubbies already qualified, though. That's a big point difference. That's an 11-point difference. You only need to get right now to 26 to tie with Simply Simple. So Simply Simple, Chocolate Thunder, Guardsmen, Team Almost, Wizards. Bonzo team's already in. So those are the 5 teams we're looking at. Simple, 4 through 8. Simple, Chocolate, Guardsmen, Wizards. Actually, Team Almost is already in. So those four are the teams that we're looking at to potentially qualify, as it's going to be very, very difficult with the length, the size of this deficit to get past Teletubbies and get past Izaka Boars. That's a lot of points, quite frankly, to be looking for out of thin air. That's going to be like a win to launch you past those 2 teams.
Yeah.
Big win.
I mean, we've seen it done before, but I do agree it's going to be a lot easier to make it into a 4th place finish and secure yourself an invite into...
Like, if I'm one of these teams and I'm listening to the stream and I know who is and isn't qualified, though, like, if this was a normal lobby, I would say, like, okay... What?
Maybe hunt a little bit? Is that what you're saying?
I would say they would hunt if they don't know that Izaka Boars and Teletubbies are already qualified.
Okay.
But, since we know that, I would say play your normal game. Play consistent. Play safe. Get yourself, like... 8 points.
Yeah.
If
you don't
you're
need
within
much.
that last round. Yeah, because you don't need that
Especially
much.
if you see Simply Simple go out early. That's one thing I would be looking at. Is like if they did their research properly.
Who is on this team? Look at the Discord list.
Exactly.
Who's there?
Exactly. Because if they see 2 or 3 members of Simply Simple go out early, you know, then it becomes all the more important to keep everyone alive and make it into those placement points, because Simply Simple likely is not going to get the points. But if Simply Simple is right up the hill from you and they're dominating and they're picking up kills, you don't have any other option really. And so it'll be interesting to see how these teams play. We are going to be going back over to Miramar, and we're on the EU side of the tournament. And so,
how did Simply Simple do in Miramar?
I
don't remember. They were in a fight with Wizards for a while, and they were part of like a big situation with them and Team Almost their north for a while.
Simply Simple was the...
That was Mr. That was
yeah,
Mr.
So he was in the shack. I think they got like a 4th place or a 5th place, so not terrible. My only complaint with that is he had a very, very easy kill ahead of him on to Team Almost. Potentially 2 kills, maybe even 3 for the squad wipe. And instead he tried to snake it in behind him, and they got taken out. And so it's kind of a risk going for those kills, but I think it's definitely one worthwhile.
Hopefully they can be a little faster on the trigger finger there. I understand why he did it, but I think that if he knew exactly the information he was working with, like where everyone was, then he would every single time say, "Oh, I'm just dead here. Just get what you can." We could easily say that because we had the camera, but honestly, at that point,
omniscient view.
Yeah, we don't play in that area too much. Like
right.
Anyone. So I don't really blame him for him not realizing how screwed he was, frankly. Yeah. Hopefully they'll be able to play a little bit more aggro there in late game if they are in that situation. But hopefully they're not going to be in a one-man alive in like the final 5 situation. Hopefully they'll be having more players up, able to have a firmer grasp on the game going into the end of it. Not sure, but who is going to be winning this? But looking at the numbers, obviously Panda Team is going to be a really, really hard team to beat. Who do you think is going to get the second qualifying spot here going into this last game? Because I was going for the Guardsmen, They looked pretty strong in the Miramar game that I saw, but they got utterly demolished. They're like one of the, as far as the numbers go, it's going to be really hard for the Guardsmen to get up into the 4th place that is required right now.
I'd have to look back at the leaderboards one more time. Some of the names are escaping me, but Simply Simple is one of them. I mean, they're in 4th place right now, so 26 points. Realistically, all they have to do is get a few kills, maybe a couple placement
I really
points.
like their
And I
dance
think-
with Equilibrium too.
Yeah.
On the far east side of the zone, it was really good from both of those teams to not engage there when they didn't have a clear entry point in. They'd try to get these frags, they'd try to find these Car 9 headshots, and they couldn't find them. So they were just saying, okay, we can't take this push. We're just not gonna. And I think that eventually they were the team that ended up gatekeeping a team almost as well, claiming a compound in that mid to late game section. So I've really liked how they've been playing so far, able to dance the dance, talk the talk, and fight the good fight at the very, very end, realizing what spots they are and aren't allowed to take, what fights they are and are not allowed to take. They are very, very smart players. I think they can absolutely do it.
Yeah, and you kind of touch base on like the knowledge of the game and like teams that have to rotate out of North George, and if it's a Millie Island, that's a little bit different. But Simply Simple, the position they were camping on the east side bridge, where they were directly up to
Big
the left of
brain.
it, on top of the hill. Yeah, because realistically, the circle is to their southwest, and the majority of the teams that come across that bridge immediately cut a hard right because they're thinking that the compound in front of them is taken. And so typically you'll see
also just
maybe
more efficient
one
at that point.
Exactly. You'll see one person inside the compound popping shots as they start to drive, kind of corralling the cars straight up to the top of that hill. Luckily for Simply, they didn't have to do that, and they got 4 kills just sitting right there from Team Almost trying to cross over. Or
I think that was the.
I don't know if it was Team
It
Almost.
was
exactly.
Wizards. It was Wizards.
Wizards, yeah.
They probably die more in rotation than
Yeah.
any other team in the SSL right now. But they also win a lot of fights they shouldn't win. So if they're allowed to fight, man, it's like Moonwolf. It's actually like old Moonwolf. If they're allowed to fight, they're a team to be reckoned with. But there's a lot of times where they'll be showing their vulnerabilities when they're driving in cars in places and times they maybe shouldn't be.
Yeah. I mean, rotation's such a large portion of the game. And so we'll see if maybe they can pull it out in Game 4 on Miramar. The flight plan, a lot more favorable this game for Miramar than the previous game. This one's cutting it pretty much right down the middle.
I still don't
Miramar,
like it.
Yeah,
when
the
it
previous
goes-
Miramar was good.
It was good. I still don't like it when it goes this far west. It just feels weird to me. Like, it's kind of hard to get to San Martin. Hacienda's a little bit far. All these little cities in the far northeast that are really, really good plan Bs aren't really accessible.
Mm-hmm.
It might be a little bit awkward for that reason. We'll be seeing how these people play. And honestly, it's Game 4. What's Picado looking like? How many teams we got dropping here? None, maybe.
There's
Only one, actually.
Yeah. Surprising typically for Game 4. We like to see, 2 to 3 teams drop Picado.
You like to see it. I don't know
I
about
like
that.
to see the early contestation.
Oh no,
personally.
Monty's gonna be the spicy tamale here, and this is gonna be the guardsman who won it the first time, and also Asmodeus and the rest of the boys on. I think this is Invicta Gaming, who are once again
goodness.
getting. I think this is I'm getting a hot drop as well. While the guardsmen are going wide, going far southwest. Leaving this other team to their hot drop. Spend the closest one to this, but the rest of them is Latikso. Oh no, Chrome is in the middle of this garbage. He's gonna want to get out of here right away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different parachutes
takes
popping
off
off
running.
right next to him. Yeah, he realizes the error of his ways, backing off to the high ground, letting these guys duke it out with whatever garbage loot they can find. We got a Glock on Do the MM, but Latikso getting shot in the back by Gavin. This is what they need if
The
you're
first
Simply
one down
Simple.
again.
Going for the hot drop, getting these early kills, and yeah, it's Latikso, man. He's not allowed to play this game, it feels like.
Yeah, I mean, with hot drops, you definitely want to land as a unit. Zlot has now, both
They're giving
Miramar
it to him.
games, kind of dropped a little too close to enemies and a little too far away from his teammates. His teammates are like, you know what? We tried to save you Game 2, and it cost us our lives, so good luck, Zlot. You are down and out. We do have the majority of guardsmen hanging out on the south side and the majority of Simply Simple off to the northeast. And so overall, this is a much cleaner split for contention over Monty.
Yeah, I like the guardsman spot the most here.
Mhm.
They're
Oh, yeah.
even holding the best spot on the high ground, allowing Center to get an okay spot here. Latikso now getting finished off as we see there. and here there. I wouldn't be surprised to be seeing Asmodeus and Steiner just find a car and back off to the north, but right now, I think that they need to have a very explosive game to even have a chance at this point. There's definitely reasons for them to both back up and go for a fight here.
Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, I think that might be why we see them dropping towards Monty again. They know that Spin and Chroma and friends dropped here the previous game, and so maybe since they need those points, they're looking at it as a chance to rack up a good kill game.
You know, simply, they dropped Val Del Mar the first game. They're just looking for a wild card drop this time. They didn't probably know how hot this was the first game, but they're probably not too sad to see it, realizing that if they want to maintain that lead, that they're going to need some kills. And once again, saying, if they don't know that the top 3 teams are already, or two of the top 3 teams are already in, then they are looking for that high kill game. They are looking for that explosive game. So it looks like that will be their approach to this game, seeing how they're playing this. They haven't left Monte. They haven't looked at these cars. They're actually trying to potentially get a third party on a guardsman who does lose one player. And look at this spin, not looking a very good kit, going for like iron sight mini sprays here. Not a good shot to be in. Even Chroma down in the open, it's going to be very hard to get that player up. These guys are trying to make these mini sprays work, but it's just, they're just firing a little too fast.
Yeah, and I mean, if they were to get a body shot and then a headshot, it could potentially work, but overall, the Mini is not an easy gun to spray like that, especially when you're iron sight. Sixel is able to get the res potentially, though, but
I don't think it's going to work.
Yeah.
Ryzen and Center are going for a huge flank. They're trying to find a shaky angle through this window. It might not work. It's actually very hard to see, and Ryozen definitely taking the much more forward approach, but a small chest high wall would prevent that from happening. Steiner, though, getting another knock on a Sixel. That player that was getting the res, leaving only Mooney and Spin up alive in there. I want to call it a fortress, but they might not be able to hold it in a 3v2 scenario. Getting these finishes, making sure Sixel and Chroma will never live to see the light of day again. Mooney and Spen, the last 2 players alive, holding their ground. And it looks like Invicta Gaming smelling the blood in the water, going for a push, but they need to remember that they're still Simply Simple in the town to their east when they go for this push.
And Simply Simple, hear these gunshots, they see these knocks in the kill feed, they want in on this action.
And they're getting in as Spen goes down to a headshot with his own mini, probably having a scope to back that one off. Mooney running around, potentially going for a res here, but it looks like Ryozen steering them to kill feed, taking the 1v1. Mooney leading it a little bit there, but Ryozen now going for push, getting the top floor, going for the Scar Spray, taking him down. Invicta Gaming taking the guardsman out of the game, as well as their chances to break into the SSL this week. The fight is not over yet, however, as we do see the entirety of Simply Simple going up into Ryozen's building. He's going for a heal. Let's go ahead and see his point of view up top as he's getting pushed by a 3-man. Holding his back room in the closet, trying to go for these quick little peeks, but going in, getting flanked by Lyron. He will not be living again here, as there's no hope of a res, as Modi is holding his ground with his mini with limited ammo, quite frankly, as well as his buddy in the trailer park, that is. It's gonna be very hard for these 2 players to get out of the grasp of Simply Simple.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a few kills, but I think at this point you need to disengage from this. Steiner getting a headshot onto him, and then the grenade to follow it up. Now this just leaves Asmodeus, the last member from Invictus Gaming.
Staying very, actually not even saying that quiet at all, actually, now I'm thinking about
moving
that.
Around,
moving around quite a bit.
Yep. Nade's coming out, not able to connect with him. He is down to 73 HP. The rush comes in, but the headshot comes out from Asmodeus. He does get the knock and the finish immediately. Now just 3 members of Simply Simple. 1 more pushing into the stairs, 1 outside the building, trying to hold the angle. They're going to be rushing him soon. He's repositioning. He does have the hold on the upstairs, but that's not going to be enough with Lyron coming up the stairs and taking him down, eliminating Invicta Gaming in 14th place. We've already seen 3 team eliminations.
Yeah, a lot of teams going for the kill points. They feel they need. Hofkid got way too antsy there. He did not need to die by any means. But still getting quite a few kills. Simply Simple, just trying to maintain their presence in 4th place and maybe even launching themselves beyond that. As a 3rd place, 2nd place is hard to get to, but 3rd place is absolutely attainable if they can get a big enough point game. Looking at the zone, however, we haven't looked at this or talked about it yet. It will be going off to the southeast side. Zone favored this somewhat, but you know what I'm thinking, Charity, is this is the only kind of zone that we can see that can end up going to the islands.
Oh man, if we had an island finish today, that would just be the icing on the cake. I personally haven't ever experienced an island finish on the east side. I have experienced one off to the southwest. I've seen it happen, But man, that would be such a fun finish because it's really just like longest lime off to the east there, as well as team almost off to the south.
Oh man, imagine the players if they had to do a melee-based finish and an island finish in one series. This is getting slapped around by the game. Yeah, the best flight pans in PUBG and the worst
the
circles,
worst circles yeah.
in small letters with the asterisk at the end
right.
of it.
It's the fine print.
Gotta win some to lose some. We'll be seeing if you end up going to the islands. It would be the biggest meme ever. We'll be seeing if it ends up going there. A lot of teams, however, playing the west side rather than playing centralized right now. There's a couple of teams that are trying to make their way in. Team almost allowing themselves to play centralized this game, seeing if they can make their style work. So they need to get it on a little bit further, but they have time to get there. Meanwhile, the Wizards are going for a slightly more aggressive approach, holding the high ground, trying to harass players coming in, maybe even driving past or trying to make sure that people don't take combats near them. However, that will not stop Pickgut and the rest of those gamers from stopping in that compound, keeping their cars safe and inside the walls of that compound, away from the rifles of the Wizards. Wheels will be safe.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad position to take. They, again, like you said, you're going to be able to keep your cars safe, and it's along a road, so they might be able to catch out a rotation or two. But realistically, I like Wizards' position better. High ground, and they can... I mean, with this position, they can literally see a complete 360 degrees around them and know exactly where they can rotate to. And they already have O'Connell and Dicer in a dominant position on that north side. The circle does shift off the island, so...
Bad game.
Yeah, we might see a Los Leones finish, though, which is...
That's ugly in its own
It's
way.
an interesting circle, for sure. But Wizards' position, absolutely dominant right now. We do see... Pickgut and friends trying to rotate out. They all have their own vehicles. We'll see if Wizards able to connect any of the shots onto the rotators.
I'm liking Wizards' spot here.
Yeah.
Outskirts of Los Leones or the hills around it are some of the best spots. I would like to see Orion Prime take their vehicles and come here. If you have to walk off these hills, then you're going to die. Driving off of them is a different matter, and Orion Prime are one of the only teams that actually have the luxury of potentially getting their cars into spots where they can keep them safe as well as stay on top of these hills, which is more centralized in their current spot. We'll be seeing if they decide to do that or if they clean this compound. It looks like they will be going for the more conservative play, simply holding their ground here. I saw a 2x in the SLR. They're probably not feeling too confident with their long-range kit and are instead more confident about trying to fend off potential crashes. So playing a little conservative this game, which will allow some players to rotate around them potentially and take some better spots, because the sightlines in this combat are they're not that good.
They really aren't. It's not the worst.
If they're willing to play outside the buildings, they are.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
look at this.
I was about to say, realistically, sending two of the guys up to the top of the hill to overwatch, it's a great play. And it looks like Feller's repositioning the vehicle. Yeah, they might be able to catch out Team Almost here.
Oh yeah, they're coming. Winnie has not fired yet, but Ned's not going to be doing so. Looks like a little bit hard to control that AK at that range. They will be able to send it over the ridge into cover. Team almost in a decent spot. And now a big fight breaking out between the Boars in the far north against aim from Poland. Two players down already with Morpheus and Bruxel down. Norky is holding his ground, popping smokes, but that was not a smoke grenade.
It was not.
That was not a smoke grenade.
At least it wasn't a vehicle. We've seen too many vehicle team kills today, or self kills rather, but that's unfortunate. It happens, and that chat is exactly why you bind your grenades. G for frag grenade, or whatever you want, but you need your individual grenades bound.
Yeah. That's better than what I do. Whenever I use a grenade, I'm like cycling with the 5 buttons.
Right.
Like, which one do I want? And I just die because I threw a Molotov instead of a smoke grenade. Aim from Poland playing very, very passive, however, allowing the rest to happen as well as waiting until the blue overtakes them. And now Izako Boars will be actually capitalizing on this, being allowed to take the top of the hill and raining down fire on the heads of Dutch, Mike Buse, and the rest of them. However, pretty hard to see through that blue, and Izako Boars without a vehicle and without a lot of meds are more interested in harassing them and holding them off and then getting the blue themselves, getting the zone themselves, rather than winning the fight here and now. Look over here, however, revisiting this fight, we have Team Almost now pushing up this hill against Winnie and those guys. They can hear each other. They're looking directly at each other, so they know that Team Almost is here. And now with this 2 split, this is not the time for this to happen, as 1v4 essentially is going on right now. Yuso loving the spray with the clearance right there at the beginning, but will be able to take Winnie on him down, leaving Venus all alone on top of this hill. Probably shouldn't stay up here for so long.
if Venus maybe finds a good like little dip or a rock cover on the east side, so his two teammates can provide cover fire, I could see it working. But realistically, I think you're right. All three of them need to reposition and maybe take something a little more central, maybe even inside the south side of Los Leones, which should be relatively clear.
Yeah, what's the zone look like right now? Los is pretty unpopular to be in because if you have to leave it, it's literally hell. We do have... Oh, no, I've seen Teletubbies win this kind of game. They have control of the entire south side of the zone. No one contests them. No even trying to contest. Maybe on the far east, the team that's rotating in on that angle, but on even... And now Panda team. What is going on, dude?
I don't know.
This is...
We've seen double-digit runovers, but
I think
it's
we're
either
at
self-inflicted or
12.
team. Yeah, that's it's unfortunate. But unfortunately enough, D-Wad was able to get the res on the AMs, and so he's going to be able to survive.
Why is he so low? Is it the blue or is that another accident waiting to happen? Either way, Panda team will be able to reconnoiter and refresh themselves before they make their way to the zone. Wizards going back home to their drop spot in the north side of Los Leones, finding themselves a couple of compounds to grab on the northern end of it. Looks like they're not too comfortable moving too far south with their cars as they don't know exactly what's going on here. It's very, very hard to find good, accurate intel inside the city. So I like and understand them going for that more conservative play. Meanwhile, Team almost harassing Orion Prime on the far east, probably going to be de-wheeling their cars if they haven't already, and pretty much forcing them to play on foot. That's almost game-ending for them alone.
Yeah, especially if Team almost just keep hanging out on top of that hill. They've got to run through a completely open field, so that's a big yikes. Miss Hairspray trying to spot out some members that are above the ridge, not able to see him, going to rotate in, try to take something a little more advantageous.
You get too close to be able to hear your footsteps. You got to be careful there. Make sure you give them enough space to back up, but not too much that you're just finding yourself in the open when they end up peeking your teammates here. Looks like they will actually be called back, leaving the low ground to themselves and the high ground to the godlike gamers who don't actually have that much gatekeeping to do themselves. There's a couple teams coming in from the northwest, but with the early kills that we've had in the early game, not too many teams are going to come in until now.
Yeah, we do have, what is this, Panda team and...
Derain. No, this is Seek Org.
Yeah,
Dewad cresting up over here. And oh my god.
Oh, he's on single fire!
Single again! This is 2 weeks in a row. He said he's good on single, and this time he will be punished for it. Not getting the kill on to Fubrax, and now he's going to continue driving away. Oh man, that is the drive of shame we are seeing right now from Dewad as they even end up driving directly toward almost his tires pop. He finds a little ridge line. He might be able to pull a Wizard Ridge on his one side, vehicle on the other, but at the same time, there's still Team Almost. As soon as Almost sees this, they're going to shoot him as soon as they're done laughing at his misfortune.
Oh man, his teammate does get taken down off to the east. That's King. He's going to end up bleeding out as well, or being taken down to the blue. AM still just trying to make it.
Oh, what a
down.
hero.
Ooh. He's got the two-seater, so if you're going to have to rotate through a team, the two-seater is definitely going to be the vehicle you want to be on. And this circle shift down to the south side, AMS is definitely liking that.
Dude, they have a marvelous spot in the zone, and all these teams that decide to take various spots in Los Leones will now be forced into the Wizards if they decide to stay there. Team Almost, meanwhile, trying to sign or dot their I's and cross their T's, making sure no one's around to shoot them in the back before they make their way into the zone. Godly Gamer trying to do some similar stuff, but Deranged intelligently keeping their cars here is going to make them very, very hard to punish for moving around in that low ground. Like Deranged a lot for that. Godlike Gamer is in a decent spot themselves as well, but they still need to break into the north side of Lost, and it was Simply Simple on their right, as well as Deranged to their left. It's going to be very, very difficult for them to do so. Oh, but look at this, actually. Who is that in the middle of the zone right now? Matt Attacks and El Bosso.
The Chocolate Thunder. Yes.
Okay.
They've got all four of live still, and I believe all four have made it. Yeah, all four have made it up into
Wizards
the
are going in too.
This is a really good position for them as long as Wizards don't capitalize.
Wait, a
on...
2-2 split? I don't like this in the Wizards.
Yeah, no, the Wizards all four need to be coming up. He's got the suppressor with the red dot M4, so he could potentially get the jump onto Chocolate Thunder. Chocolate Thunder does end up rotating down to a more centralized position, but lower ground, less line of sight.
But while this is going on, look at the north side. There's a lot of purple. Simply Simple are running up on T-Bone and Dicer, who have gotten themselves in a 2v3 situation. I'm pretty sure the Wizards came up here initially to assist with any fights from afar, but them going up to the far south side and trying to punish the Chocolate Thunder put them out of position to help their teammates, and now, Simply Simple were able to get inside these buildings, garrison themselves, pretty much forcing Wizards into an isolated 2v3 scenario, which this is very easy to lose to the Wizards.
Okay. Realistically, if you're a two-man, this building that the Wizards are in, it's the 5 stack, the blue building.
Mm-hmm.
It's phenomenal. It's very easy to hold as a two-man. There's only one way in to the higher ground or the higher floors, and that's through the staircase. And
You can climb up the holes.
You can actually climb up the very first hole. Oh, okay.
I think. I'm pretty sure. I'm like 90% sure.
I thought it was just a position you could drop down. I could be mistaken. But off to the northwest, we do see Deranged Miss Hairspray. Saw a great spray out from her in game 1, trying to sneak her way up into the... it's a good spot.
Very
but
cheeky. I think that she has a teammate as well in this building, but creep walking, being very, very quiet. She needs to get like an insta down for this to even itself out. The other it's not going to happen. Seamaker is actually peeking above. That's really bad, actually.
Yeah,
that's really bad that they had Hairspray being quiet and Seamaker peeking.
Mm-hmm.
They had to either both hide or both peek.
No. And realistically, I mean, Miss Hairspray, it's just, I was about to say, you just got to get out of there at that point. Your position has been compromised, and you know there's 4 people knocking at your door. You might be able to get one flush, but realistically, it'd be better to wrap all the way down south and reposition to another position that it's just kind of cheeky. They might not be expecting it, and you might be able to get a knock or 2 and finishes.
T-Mobile was actually able in the far east side to cross this road safely, despite Wizards being on this hill already. Great that they were able to do this, and once again, putting more and more risk onto this already precarious 2-2 split. And this is why you don't really see this that much. If someone's on this hill with you, that's an even 50-50 fight. That they are now 1 player down. On that being said, an incredibly lucky third party, as well as now Dicer and T1 spotting them, will actually force T-Mobile down. So this 2-2 split now working in their favor a little bit, as well as providing the Wizards with a place for the northern 2 split to go for. Meanwhile, Team Mimos will be having their own fight breakout as both Bonzo team to their north, as well as Farax and I think this is Seek Org to the south, are all converging on the same spot outside the zone, all of them with the intent of clearing out the east side and claiming it for their own.
Team almost spotting out Seek Org, trying to get some
this
shots
is
in
not
the
a good
left.
spot evasion,
Mime
getting flanked from the left. Mime doesn't get the down like you were saying, but oh my god, a lot of cover fire, allowing evasion to just run out here in the middle of the open. A frag being primed, but Tanaka, he doesn't even need help, saying just saving Evasion's life. Dude, and going on in, let's see if Evasion can return the favor, pushing up, seeing if he can complete what Tanaka could not. But no, a third party as well as Evasion flubbing the 1v1. Yuzo trying to do it, Evasion couldn't, and Farax proving that he has what it takes to go up with the best of the best. That during that, Sunzi will bleed out, but great play from Farax to survive that so far. He needs to get back up on his feet right away because Bonzo, though, is coming in from their north.
Then they're going to get the res too just in time. Wizards were able to make it across the shack because Simply Simple ended up going off to the west. But now Izaka Bors is knocking on the door of Simply Simple. Did not come
Never seen a fight here. Never seen a fight happen in this combat before. But Izaka Bors are showing that they know what it takes to adapt. Gavir in a very, very key spot up top. And that will be enough for him to get one down. But the follow-up there, and this is the big difference between two teams. You have the opportunity to double peek someone from 2 different spots. You take it. You always have someone in position for that trade. You don't have someone going off on their own like Hofkid in the beginning of the game. Izaka Boy is showing why they are on top of the leaderboard almost week after week, claiming the north side of loss.
Yep. And Panda team off to the southeast, getting gate kept out by Teletubbies. Teletubbies have been in this compound on the south side to themselves for the majority of the game here. Good sprays coming out from T-Bone, downing Rajku, getting some shots out onto his teammate, but then the return fire taking down arrows.
Oh god.
Dicer's looking off to the north, trying to gatekeep to himself, so it's just these 3, but that's going to be enough. The elimination coming out on the Bonzo team, and now we're into the placement points. Our top 8 teams still alive.
Pretending they're playing some sidekick showdown right there, just going for a 2v2 on the far east side while Wizards covering their north. A very, very wide split, very curious to see that, but makes sense because look at that northwest side. There are about 10 or 12 players within the span of about 200 meters. A ton of teams here. Meanwhile, Teletubbies, they've had a quiet game so far, but this quiet game might be similar to the Chocolate Thunder game in Game 3, where they're just not going to get pushed, not going to be contested, but with the zone shifting directly on top of yes it, Chocolate Thunder, they will. Oh my god, look over here's Hairspray with another potential big spray against 2. Oh, they almost ran out of ammo, getting shot in the back to range, shooting him in the back and finishing the fight for them. Double Lung did get down here. The frags coming from Pickgut is the only thing keeping this alive. Maddie trying to go for this, but he couldn't quite make it work. Honestly, man, you're letting down your hero. You're letting down Hairspray, and barely Blastron able to survive, keep all of his teammates alive, all 4 of them, despite them going down.
Hairspray, that was so close. Chris initially should have had the kill onto Hairspray, but Chris, I'm assuming Chris thought he got the down, and then he turned his efforts towards the other teammate, and Miss Hairspray just tearing it up. The great spray transfer, literally didn't let go of the trigger there.
Yeah, that was really good, and that's what you want to do in PUBG. Like, resetting doesn't help you too much, especially with the scar there. 6x on this M4, taken at Ferax. He has done a great job surviving so far. He ripped Team Almost a new one, but at this point, there's not much clutch potential here on the far east side, just running in from the end of the zone. Now, however, Wizards have linked up on the north side and have summarily gotten taken down mostly by the Izako Boars. A couple players trying to get reses off. T-Bone going for a heal. Hopefully they have more smoke grenades for Dicer. He should have popped that before healing for sure. Gonna be re-smoking, however. Oh, actually, his X-rays, those smokes is very translucent. So, smoke grenade is popped. They will be able to get the reses off nice and safe. Izako Boars unable to do anything about that, as they will. Izako Boars will be forced into this low ground compound that Chocolate Thunder are holding right now, but not exactly holding this north side. Izako Boars, though, players in the full squad in the east, full squad in the west, and a full squad in their south, and they're now just going to rush in there, getting into the low ground as fast as they can. Ghostar in the open with only a smoke grenade as his concealment, getting some cover, but Blastronaut on the west side, they've decided that now is going to be their push, but getting third-party cross zone by not only Chocolate Thunder, but also Teletubbies makes that third party very destructive, as Blastronaut going down and out, and the rest of their players staying on their west side of the road.
What a hectic circle. Lots of hard cover, lots of open territory as well, though. The third party is going down. O'Connell connecting the shots on Bruxel, leaving just 2 members of Izaka Boars up, and they're on the north side. They are not even inside circle. Ghostar's in.
Oh boy.
We're going to see what this circle does. This is going to be either Teletubbies game or it's going to be a crazy ending.
The massive chuck from Dicer, taking Ghostar, one of the best players on this team, down. Can't see through the smoke there, but what? The luckiest nerd alive! O'Connell finding Norky's prone on the opposite side of a pipe through the smoke. What a lucky nerd.
That, realistically, yeah, that's just pure luck. We got to see, because we see the translucent smoke, but realistically that was just spray and pray, and it just so happened to connect.
He was going for the down. He was not going for the finish. He had no idea that they were there. Godlike Gamer, though, this is a team that has 7 kills, have been doing a great job getting a lot of work done inside Lost, and you can't forget that they have the entire west side of the zone to themselves. Teletubbies might be looking to contest this as they take the pit on the far south side, but man, that's frag bait. You don't want a lot of players in there, and because it's easy to punish that. Although with Godlike Gamer pushing into this compound, I don't know if I like this or not.
I don't think so, especially with them controlling the entire west side. There's definitely cover that they could play. There's dips that they could play. I mean, there's roadblocks and broken down vehicles that they could play. Literally, they're putting themselves.
Actually, what does it look like? What does the west side of the zone look like? Is Teletubbies able to punish this? Okay,
see, the cars, there's not as much, but that rock and then the cars, I think you could potentially play it. But yeah, there's not as much as I was originally thinking.
Okay, yeah. So this play is understandable with that in mind. Oh my god, you peeked and there's a player inside every single window. A couple of smokes might be their only hope to get in here, as the Wizards are actually now pushing in a little bit on the far east side, maybe trying to get a flank on the Chocolate Thunder. They actually are. They're trying to flank players in this compound, but in the process, getting pinched between not only the players inside this compound, El Bosso and co, but also the Teletubbies on the far north, who are spread out so far. And this, I feel, is the big difference between Teletubbies and teams like Chocolate Thunder and Godly Gamer. They're not afraid to spread out. They rely on each other to win these 1v1s. Now looking over here, though, we do see Chocolate Thunder and Godly Gamers making their way on the northwest side, trying to break in.
The shots coming out from longest line, taking down O'Connell, leaving just 2 members of from Wizards. They're along the east side. They do have hard cover, so they're going to be safe for one more circle. We are down to our final 4 teams, so all these teams are getting good placement points. They need to supplement it with some kills.
Giving the res. Madtax might want to contest this. There's actually... okay, there's a player outside. Madtax might be trying to go for this, but he, seeing the peek on the left makes him immediately worried about using this window ever again. Honestly, this room right now that Madtax in is terrifying. Vaulting out the window, not trying to contest.
And there we go. So they peeked around the angle. Both, honestly, they came around the corner at the perfect timing. One of them did get down. Actually, 2 of them got down, but the final member was able to get the knock and the finish.
Great stuff there. Wizards somehow able to stay alive in all the carnage right now. A 2-man left alive. Pretty much, I think this is amidst 2 4-man teams right now, as we do see Chocolate Thunder getting these results off. I'm surprised El Basso was able to get so much work done. The main reason he was able to do this is because this no man's land is deterring Teletubbies from making a push onto El Basso, even though he's the only person in this compound. Teletubbies could probably do it, but quite frankly, this ridgeline, they got center zone. They don't need to join the carnage that is like the zone right now, and they are in a great spot to get a ton of placement points. They don't want to risk it by taking a fight that they could lose and get 3rd place in.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, like you said, dead center of the zone. This is phase 8, so in phase 9, Snip's position here is going to be the final location of the circle. So it's going to slowly close into Snip, forcing the entire northeast side of the circle straight to him, with Kleinman and Mamek and Evis just able to clean up these kills. Mad Attack trying to get some shots out. He does connect down to connect onto Evis, bringing him down to 3 HP. Not getting the knock that he needed. I think they've used up the majority of their smokes too, trying to make it to this compound here. It looks like Wizards is completely out of utility. They do have 1 first aid. The dead body in front of mine, don't know if they've already looted or not. But either way, no utility to make this push. This is not looking good for Wizards. I think they're just hoping for a second place. Yeah,
look at this
realistically,
terrain.
yeah.
Like the main downside is that the only person playing center is Snip. He might lose a 1v1, and Chocolate Thunder are trying to make it happen as Mad Attack's leading the way with his Aug on the far right side. The problem is that even if he makes this push, there's at least 2 players at all times contesting this, trying to find the headshot, but oh my god, a frag landing at Mamek's feet will demolish him with 176 damage. Mamek playing this off angle. Soldado might have known he's here, but look, they're trying to go for a flank, and in the process of doing so, Ivis and Kleinman are just on their case the entire time. Like you said, another name from Mamek, taking more and more players down. These are the last 2 players left up that we see right now from Chocolate Thunder. Their only hope right now is that the Wizards help them out in this fight. This spot they're playing is precarious, to say the least.
Yeah, and this is Teletubbies' game, like we mentioned.
Wizards are going in.
Push straight to him.
They're trying to make something happen here. They're using the very, very small wall here as the zone pushes them in. But Kleinman with a grenade, chucking it actually over at Chocolate Thunder on the far right. I'm not getting done with that, but arrows. Oh my god, a headshot is exactly what he needed there. And this might be it, because now Chocolate Thunder, they can actually push on the right side. There is not much keeping them from going on that right besides the player in the middle of the zone. Wizards as well, getting themselves soon into a flank position. 1 frag, in fact, could take down the entirety of the Teletubbies.
We saw that Wizards didn't have any frags, unfortunately, and I think Chocolate Thunder might have used up their remaining frags trying to get the knocks onto Wizards. Basso trying to crawl in. This is a really good play from Basso. He's getting the information for his team. There he is. I mean, you have to realize that Snip's been there for a while now. The nade coming out, that's going to be a good one for... How's that say?
What?
Oh. It actually connected with T-Bone on the other side.
That
it looks
should
like
not have happened.
The damage went from underneath, leaving just 2 teams up. There is a
1v1. Socado alive. Ivis going for the push. Getting a quick early headshot on Socado. The zone coming in at his back. Socado needs to end this right now. The geometry screwing him over. He thought he could walk forward, but he could not. And Teletubbies, it wasn't as destructive as I thought it was going to be, but they're playing their strengths, realizing how strong their spot was in the zone for pretty much the entire game, and then exploding outward when they needed to. And that explosion, that spread that they had in the far south side, didn't result in a ton of kills, but it disallowed anyone from ignoring the fight inside the compound. They corralled every single team into Chocolate Thunder, who had an amazing spot inside that compound, giving Chocolate Thunder a lot of kills for sure, and giving them the 2nd place, but at the same time, pretty much all but confirming that they would get first.
Yep. Teletubbies played that great. I mean, granted, they got circle favored a lot, but they rotated in early. They took a dominant position, and they realized their advantage was taking center zone there and playing it slow and waiting for the circle to close everyone together. Granted, I think they got a little lucky on that nade. This is going to be the first time I've ever said this for PUBG, but I don't think that nade should have killed
the
player through the garbage can.
I don't know exactly what it looks like, but it might have like the 4 legs on the edges.
So it's like maybe an inch off the ground. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. So in PUBG, I've seen so many tiny things block a grenade. I mean, a tarp. If the grenade
there's a Viva La Dirt League video about this exact topic. Yeah. Like little poles can stop grenades, but an entire trash can kept them alive.
Yeah.
It didn't keep them alive. So,
don't get me wrong. I would rather it be towards this side than tarps or little poles blocking entire grenades, but still, that's the first time I've ever said it. I'm surprised that nade actually killed him there.
I'm mad
killed that
for
wizard.
him. Wizards got robbed. I'm gonna say it.
Yeah.
I don't think they even die anyway, because the last fight was down to a 1v1.
Right? They could have potentially won. If they would have just kept snaking in, they could have won. Realistically, Solados there, he kind of got unlucky too with the terrain blocking his movement.
My god! And Teletubbies got fed. That whole those lucky nerds. Oh my god! Still though, Teletubbies, they did have a really good spot. They capitalized it. They didn't push out when they didn't have to. They chose the exact right time in a marvelous way to push out, realizing that the only way they lose is by getting flanked. And so what did they do? Surround it, grab all the rages around it, corral them all in, like I said, and won that game just with a couple. They all picked up like 4-leaf clovers in the way. Like there's no grass, but they found a 4-leaf clover anyway.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're busy or if you're not busy trying to kill people, you might as well look for the 4-leaf clovers, and that's exactly what they did. But again, congratulations to them. Teletubbies coming out first place, game 4, and it's gonna be enough to skyrocket them up into actual first place. They're gonna be taking home the $400 grant or first place prize. On top of they were a previously invited team already, and so what is that?
And Azako Boars are already qualified teams, so it will be Panda Team and Chocolate Thunder who get the finale slot. And this is not a team that was really on my radar at all. But looking at their placements, like usually in the mid game, they can't quite make their way in, but they did get a win after getting fed a lot. But besides that, their mid games are okay. Like this is what you want to see in a mid game. 5 kills, 7 kills. Like the second game is obviously the weakest amount, but everyone has bad games like that. This is really good from Chocolate Thunder.
Realistically, going into halftime, Chocolate Thunder only had 8 points to their name.
Are you serious?
They picked up 26 points through games 3 and 4. Skyrocketing them up the leaderboard.
That's really
phenomenal.
good.
And that just goes to show why you don't give up. And even if it's looking very bleak for you, you can still come back and dominate. Teletubbies was not in the lead once this game. I mean,
look at their first game.
Yeah, literally, they started out with a 16th place and 2 kills, and then granted, game 2 they came in strong, 3rd place with 9 kills, and then 3rd place with 11 kills, and then our 1st place with 7 kills. So these guys really showed up strong.
And in these 3rd places, they got more points than some teams get for a 1st place. That shows how strong they are as a team, able to reel themselves back in from that initial 16th place all the way into 1st place with a sizable 1st place lead. Meanwhile, only thing between $80 and Panda Team was Azako Boars a single kill point, so they're able to claim that one. Although honestly, in a tie, Azako Boars was on kills every time, so they would need 2 points, which is a little bit more there. Still though, huge congrats to Panda Team as well as Chocolate Thunder, and good try. The Simply Simple, Wizards, and all these other teams that came so close. I'm honestly really sad to see that Guardsman ran out of steam. It really does look like that EU ping was so bad for them, because look at those first 2 games, the Guardsmen, 10 kills, 5 kills, and then as soon as that ping advantage went away, just down the tubes. They were not able to react well to that.
Yeah, that is unfortunate, but that's the name of the game, especially for the First Blood Survival Sunday League, is, I mean, we favor both the NA side for the first portion, here. Yeah, and then the EU side for the second portion of it, and so it's can't blame it on pink, because everybody is at the exact same thing. Like, I mean, half the games you're going to be at a small disadvantage, half the game you're going to be at a small advantage, and so it's all about consistency. And Teletubbies, man, consistency. They're just tearing it up today. I mean, granted, game 1, not so consistent, but right after that, great games from them.
All right, so our updated list of teams that are now qualified for the finale. I'll just say it again so everyone knows what to look for going into the last couple of games. This is week 6. There's 1 week left to qualify. You're going to keep tabs on these names to know who you got to beat in week 7. Bottle Riders, Lil Cromsies, Team Almost, Rarity, Bonzo Team, Izako Boars, Teletubbies, Zwitap, Player One Esports Latin America, Free Agents, and then today it was Panda Team and Chocolate Thunder that was able to claim those spots
It's gonna be
today.
a fun finale.
Yeah, 4 slots left. 2 in the finale and then 2 in the wild card. Not sure what's going to be going in the wild card. I actually haven't really looked at the stats yet in the past couple of games, so it's probably going to be pretty close. I'm probably going to do a lot of tiebreaker calculations on that one. We'll be seeing exactly how it happens. That being said, that is going to be it for us today at SSL Week 6. A ton of great highlights. Miss Hairspray is still the hero in my heart. Do you have any closing remarks, though?
As always, if you want to compete in the Survival Sunday League or any of our bounty hunts or the new duos sidekick series on Vikindi, go ahead and hop on over to our Discord, go to our website, and if you have any questions, you can ask us. And I mean, all the relevant information is there, and we'd love to have you in these tournaments. I have a blast casting it every week. I'm sure you do as well.
Absolutely.
But yeah, other than that, I think that does it.
All right, well, thank you guys so much for spending your time here with us this week. We'll be back next week for Week 7, and then after that, you can't miss it. It's going to be the 5K finale. We'll see you guys then. Keep eating chicken, folks.